No, I couldn't hear you.
Can we hear you? Can you hear me now?
Yes,
And I hope
yes,
you
yes,
are able to see me also. Pranay,
yes.
can you also put on your camera just to?
Yes, 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 yes.
Hi, Pranay.
Namaskar.
Good to see both of you joining for the class.
Thank you.
So welcome to Bombay Flying Club, the drone training organization. Okay, so myself, Mangesh Sutar, who is actually an accountable manager as well as a chief flying instructor for you. So next sessions for the training, I'll be taking up yours, and we'll be starting with the theory sessions, and then we'll be going for a practical sessions accordingly. Okay, so theory sessions we can have more people as they join the courses, but for practical, as I said earlier, also it's all one-to-one training kind of thing. You will have can both can come at the same time. You can have supporting each other as a pilot, co-pilot roles, and then you will learn more effectively. Or else, sometimes when there is nobody else, then I have to perform the role of a co-pilot and train individually people accordingly. So we'll be having a team where we will able to do the course. Practical is more important from a perspective that you actually gaining the experience. I think Pranay, you are already flying the drone, right? Then how
Yes,
about
sir.
you? Do you have any experience of flying drone?
Yes, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Both of you are well versed with the drones. So before we introduce each other, or you guys introduce, let me introduce myself. So as I said, myself Mangesh Sutar. So if you see my career, I predominantly initially after doing my post graduation, I joined the IT industry. So I have almost 22 years of IT industry experience. Last 2 years, I have switched from IT industry to aviation. So though that aviation was my initially very keen interest, hobby, and probably initially I wanted to be into aviation industry, but due to some reasons I could not. So after post graduation, I joined my IT industry. I was working for IBM for 8 years. Then I worked for Dell for 12 years. So almost big organizations. I have worked as a in charge managing the projects in Western region. So almost all the customers in Western region, you can name any bank, any organization. We have done the projects almost like big companies like NSE, National Stock Exchange, then your ICICI Bank, IDBI Bank, SBI Bank, or even Yes Bank. All these companies, big data centers, I have set up along with my team, and other customers also like L&T is there, Lupin Pharmaceutical, Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, lot of companies in pharmaceuticals also, or even into the some commerce, e-commerce kind of market, like whether it is Hypercity or your any mart, dmart, all these maximum data centers I have set up by me and my team when I was part of the Dell. After the even the biggest customer, your Reliance Telecoms, I used to manage the entire 4G, 5G setup. Everywhere you make a call, the call which lands into the respective communication center, that communication center is been set up by my team. Okay, so almost 50 locations across pan India, even in Port Pilar, Jammu, Guwahati, such like the remote locations. And let me tell you, this was done during the COVID. Okay, the 4G setup was done during the COVID when nobody was allowed to travel. That point in time, my team has traveled and make sure that telecom, because that time the banking and telecom industry was very much required during the COVID, because everybody wanted to have a call. Almost that online presence was very much taken into the boom during the COVID part, where everybody wanted be at home but still connected to each other through video or whatever it is, whatever the means we can have it. Even you saw that education, colleges, schools, corporates, everybody was working from online. So there was a huge load on the 4G network that point in time. So that time the infrastructure growth what we did, as we were already setting up the 4G network, we went into that setup. So that entire setup is that. Last 2 years, I saw that there was a switch was available, so I thought, let me take this switch right now. So I took a switch from IT to drone industry, though it was my very much close to my heart and it was my passion from the aviation perspective. And also I used to make those small aero models and fly them and learn more about that and all the things. So now I thought,
So,
Audio, sir.
audio, we are missing your audio.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm saying drone industry is just 3 years old, I would say, not from a perspective uh, what is being done into the drone, but from a perspective regulation perspective. I'm saying, okay, 2021 India had a proper regulation for the drone part. Before that, there were some regulation, draft regulations were there. There were a lot of loopholes. There were a lot of challenges. Lot many things were there. So we all people have contributed to the government so that they were able to frame whatever we are today. So I would say today we are much better from a perspective of the regulations, the rules. The simplicity of the rules is the most important. Okay, if you pick up the drone rules before 2021, they were very much complicated. There were a lot of challenges. There were a lot of complications into that. It was not user friendly. I would say it was more from a regulation perspective, whereas it was not easy of flying. Whereas the latest rules, they had just made it very simple so that people can take up this, and that's why since 2021 the drone industry has taken up a very good momentum. It started with initially 2 to 20 startups. Now we have almost 200, 250 startups in drone industries. A lot of big companies are also there. You have seen a lot of outside companies also coming up, investing or getting collaborated with local companies for setting up the drone infrastructure. Even government, state government as well as the central government, both are equally putting up their efforts, bringing new schemes, new things, so that people get more into the drone part and all. Okay. So with that, I welcome both of you for the drone pilot training course today. Uh, I would like to you people also to give a small introduction about yourself so that I know what are you done. Yes, we have spoken earlier, but just for understanding each other officially and knowing about us. Yeah, over to you, Pranay.
मराठीत बोलू शकतो.
Go ahead, not a problem. If
हा.
Jagan doesn't have any, understanding it.
Yes, I mean, I can understand, but not all that. I
Ah,
mean, if Pranay talks slowly, I can understand.
हिंदी में बात कर सकता हूँ फिर मैं.
हाँ, yeah.
हाँ, तो मेरा नाम प्रणय सकपा है और मैं चिपळूण से रहने वाला हूँ और मैंने 12th तक पढ़ाई की है और मेरे दोस्त ने मुझे रिकमेंड किया था. मैं कैमरा लेने वाला था पर मुझे बोला कि तू ड्रोन ले, इसमें थोड़ा मतलब इनकम के वजह से मैंने लिया कि मैं जॉब नहीं करना चाहता था, कुछ खुद का करना चाहता था, इसलिए मैंने फिर कैमरे के. हाँ सर.
एंटरप्रेन्योर.
हाँ. तर तो ऐसा था. फिर 1 साल से मैं ड्रोन फ्लाई कर रहा हूँ, प्री वेडिंग करता हूँ. अगर क्या कहते हैं उसे, मतलब ड्रोन का जो भी काम रहेगा वो सब करता हूँ मैं. और यही, और कुछ नहीं. अब 1 साल से वही कर रहा हूँ.
Okay. Good to know that, Pranay, you can scale up. See, starting an entrepreneur business is first of all the very bold step. I would say it's
Yes.
very requires a lot of courage, a lot of thought process, because you are all alone. You are all singly handled. You do not have. I mean, you have taken the initiative to invest into the drone, and initially you may have a lot of struggles. You may have a slack days. You may not get orders and all the thing, but slowly the things will scale up as you do work,
Yes.
as you get connected with the people. People know your work, how you deliver. See, it's all about how you set it up your entire infra. Today you are all alone doing it. Maybe tomorrow you might have 10 people around you, and they are going different projects, and you are just driving your team across different projects. Okay.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
if you want to understand, I don't know whether since you are doing photography, I'm just Irani photography. Do you know Irani photography?
I heard about it,
Ah.
but
They also started with initially like this as a one individual, and today they have a team. So whenever, and in fact nowadays they are being the most photographers in the India, where all the most of the celebrities के functions जब होते हैं and all the things, those people are being involved into covering the entire setup, entire function. So they send different. I mean, 4-5 तो photographers भेज देते हैं वो लोग, so that they give that great experience. उसमें drone वाला भी होता है. So there is one guy who is capturing through the drone. There are two guys who are capturing through different angles, different photographs. Because एक shot है, वो एक moment ही है, and that moment they capture it from different directions. So Irani photography started with one person, two person, and then they have become such a big organization, big team now. Okay. Thanks, Pranay, for a quick introduction. Over to you, Jagan.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. First of all, thanks for having me here, Mangesh. And it was inspiring about your career track that you had said, and even for Pranay. So it was inspiring for me. And as my full name is Jagan Mohan. So basically, I'm from Chennai, but it's been 8 years in Mumbai. I started my career in operational technology, not in IT. It's an OT part, kind of oil and gas, life sciences, and chemicals, kind of this. I work as an automation engineer.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah. So post 2021, after the COVID, there is a very famous term called Industry 4.0.
Correct.
So most of the industries want to go as a virtual. I mean, they don't really rely on the physical thing. They want to make everything virtual. So now the thing is like we are converging OT into IT. I mean, we are converging IT into OT, and in both, and we are using a lot of technologies for that, IIoTs, and we use Gen AIs, kind of lot of technologies we utilize. So the intention of doing this training is we do have a projects internally and externally. I mean, to increase my knowledge on the drone, as we have a technology called digital twin. So which is we map the area and we convert into a real time virtual screen where any operators can view the real time value using the augmented reality. I mean AR.
Okay.
So this was the one thing, and other than this, I have a passion on the drone. I did have a drone, a DJI Mini. So it's a toy drone. Yeah, but still I want to grow. So earlier I was not knowing about this drone license, and more I researched. So I want to make it, more, properly. Follow the rules, regulations, and even this will help me in my career track as well.
Okay.
And that is the intention. Yeah.
Great. Pranay, I forgot to ask you, which drone do you own?
DJI Mini 3 Pro, sir.
Okay, great. So great. I mean, these are drones which are primarily initially people use. The DJI is very famous, though we always say that DJI drones are banned in India, and also still people are using. But that transition is happening. So right now, I think whether people are aware or not, but we have almost 94 type certified drones, meaning that there are people who have developed drones within India and they are available. Though they may not be, uh, I do not want to discourage our fellow Indians who has taken the efforts to develop, but still DJI is DJI. Okay, that I can
Actually,
vouch for it because I have seen that drone not from outside, but I have seen it from inside, and I know I do a lot of. I mean, I have a crazy thing. Actually, rather flying the drone more, I would like to see what it goes inside the drone. Why it makes, why does it fly? Why does it make so stable? You know, if you see that from a stability perspective and the flying experience perspective, as you both are already flying DJI drones, you must have experienced that, the kind of drone. And as I said, I love most of the time building the drones. Okay.
okay.
Flying is one part of it. Of course, the fun is when you build your own drone and then flying it. I mean, you are taming it actually. It's like horse riding, learning to horse ride. First you select the horse and then you tame it and then you ride it. So that fun is altogether a different thing. Okay, so that's it. So let's begin. There are a lot many things as day progresses. We'll know each other. Most of the things you will know more about me also. Apart from the drone and my IT industry, I do a lot of other things also. And I can assure you, definitely you will love. You will experience something which you know uh, not known for it. Okay, so there are a lot of and more from.
We lost you. We lost your voice.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah. Now we
I
can hear.
think in between sometimes the internet is giving problem or something. I don't know. Normally it should not happen, but okay. Wherever you feel that you cannot hear me, just let me know so that
Sure.
yeah. So let's see what is the schedule. How are we placed for next 2 days? So you can see on the screen. I have already shared this to you guys also. So our day one, where we'll be starting with the stakeholders and their laws, drone rules. We'll understand what is the drone rules and how they are placed. Then we'll learn the most important part of the drone flying, the basic principles of flight. Then we'll have 15 minutes tea break, then ATC procedures and radio telephony. This third topic, what we are touching over here, this is just the beginning. In next 3 months or 6 months, this will become very important in a drone industry. This there will be a certainly a license or a separate training would be coming up, because right now whatever the drones we are flying, they are flying under VLOS mode, that is visual line of sight. So government is going to, or DGC is going to introduce something called BVLOS, that is beyond visual line of sight. That means you can fly your drone beyond your visual line of sight. Okay. So this ATC procedures, during that point in time, you will be interacting with ATC and you will be flying the drones beyond your visual capabilities. Okay. Then we'll explore what is fixed wing, rotorcraft. Even this fixed wing is going to take much into the picture, because that's why the BVLS is coming into the picture. So rotor wing, what we are already learning for it, and then the hybrid. Hybrid is also taking up in a very big way, because a lot of time people could not have a runway to fly the fixed wing. So it is always advisable to take hybrid drone, and especially in the surveillance or monitoring kind of projects, hybrid plays a lot of role into that. And our session will end for the day with along with some question answers. If you have questions, you have anything, query, discussion, and all the things. Second day, we will start again tomorrow, 9 a.m. with weather and meteorology, very important part from the aviation perspective, from the drone flying perspective. Then drone equipment maintenance, we'll learn more about that inside and outside of the drone, and following the checklist, pre-checklist, post-checklist, during flying, what you need to monitor, how do you run all the things. Then we'll see what are the risk management part, what are the challenges while flying the drone. There could be any kind of emergency. So how do you handle those energy, or how do you analyze what could be the challenges when I'm flying the drone, and how do you handle it? Okay, then we'll have payload installation and utilization, and then once you have the payloads, definitely you will be having a lot of data, RGB, thermal, lidar, different sensors. Will be having different types of data, and then what would be utilization of that. So these are not in depth, but still to know things from. See, the syllabus is completely designed by DGCA. This is not an individual syllabus from Bombay Flying and all that, but this is a anywhere, any organization you go, you will have the same syllabus. But whatever you learn or impart from these topics, that's what makes the difference. Okay, how do you take it forward? How do you learn? And one thing you people understand, today we are engaged, or we are connected as a Bombay Flying Club. Students understand one thing: Bombay Flying Club is going to be now your mentor for your lifetime, I would say. Okay, any point in time you have any query, any question, feel free to reach out to us. we will definitely show the path or guide you, give you the recommend on the thing. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Then after payload installation utilization, we'll have a drone data analysis, and we'll end the day with digital sky platform in production. So anyway, that is going to move on to a different platform now. DGC is already working on changing the platform, but as of now, still the DGCA still continuing using digital sky. So there is something new platform is already been there. There is a migration going on in the backend. So that's why recently all the RPTO license what is being generated, they are being generated by the offline, or they are being generated by uh, the RPTO itself. Earlier, there was a process where your license was supposed to be generated by the digital or the digital team, but now we are a process because of the migration.
So voice is not clear, Mangesh.
Yeah, digital sky platform is going to change in some time. Already the migration is going on. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you are audible now. Bit a second
Yeah, yeah.
ago.
Okay. So that's what is how we are scheduled. So we'll be following this schedule more or less. There might be plus minus of the timelines here and there. Importance is how do you spend our day and how do you spend our times and schedule uh, over the period of time. Okay. So let's start with today's first session. It's already 9:30. Let me know if you are able to see the screen,
Yes.
right? So before I begin, let me give you some glance about the Bombay Flying Club. So Bombay Flying Club started in 1928. Okay, it's one of the, well, not one of the, but I would say it is the oldest aviation organization in India. The aviation basically started from Bombay Flying Club in India. So the Tatas, the JRD Tata, who actually flew from Karachi, he landed at his aircraft at Bombay Flying Club, Juhu Aerodrome. That's where the Bombay Flying Clubs comes into the picture. The first license which was generated for JRD Tata was given by Bombay Flying Club. Even the first lady who flew the first airplane, she also got the license from Bombay Flying Club. So over the period of almost now, we are into 96 years. Okay, 96, 97 years, I would say. Next another 3 years, we will be actually celebrating our 100 years of aviation. So that's the legacy what the Bombay Flying Club carries. So we do conduct a lot of trainings. We have BSc in aviation, AMI, a lot of other courses related to aviation industry, and we have our own college where people are being trained. We do conduct CPL, SPL courses for the people who are aspiring to become a commercial pilots and all that things. So that's the quick introduction. Even the airplane which JRD Tata flown is still there with us. It was in between not used and nothing, but the students themselves, along with the people who teach them, they have restored that aircraft, something almost like a new, and which can be flown by the students. Okay, so it's completely up to date. So we have a lot of aircrafts, then we have helicopters and all those things. So there is a separate division which actually, from a teaching perspective, also from flying perspective, also there are different organizations associated with Bombay Flying Club, and that's how we are. And so drone division is one of the segment which I heads as accountable manager primarily, and then during the course I do take, since I love teaching also. So I take, sometimes there is another instructor along with me. His name is he is also a pilot. His name is Captain Shivan Bhagwati. So he will be also some of time. Probably he would join us at the practicals because he is more actively into aircraft flying. So whenever he doesn't have any schedule for flying, so he would coming to us for. He may come on Thursday or Friday at flying location to give us some inputs and help us on the flying sessions. Okay, so let's move. The first topic is stakeholders and their laws, drone rules 2021. So in India, the drone rules started from 2021. That's why I said it's just 3 years old. So let's first start with the aviation background, international rules, regulations, standards, and practice. So in December 7th, 1944, there was something called Chicago Convention. So all the countries, see, since there was already aircraft flying was started, Wright brothers flew the first aircraft, and then that whole industry started taking up. Everybody started flying their own aircraft, making aircraft, and then we made a good progress. By the time during the First World War, also there were some aircraft were used during the war, but not so. But post the World War I, the aircrafts were developed very much technically, as well as they were used from city to city, or maybe even intercontinental and all that thing. So there has to be some standard regulations, because everybody had their own ways of flying, ways of doing things. So all the countries thought, and leading like US, Canada, these bigger countries took the initiative that we need to have a standard, because we'll be flying across the globe. So you need to have some kind of a standard. Every country should follow basic standard procedures, and we should develop so that we can use them across the globe, whether it is technically, economically, legally, operational matters, respect to civil aviation. So all initially countries, like 36 countries, came together and they form a treaty which is called Civil Aviation Treaty, or it is called ICAO. More of it is called as ICAO Treaty. Okay, so it is International Civil Aviation Organization, or ICAO, which is currently headquartered at Montreal, Canada, and which has as a council members 36 contracting states. Right now, there are more number of countries are part. During initially 36, even India was not part of that treaty, or that was, but later on India become a part of it. Right now, still it is not a part of like council consisting 36, but since they were the initially who actually formed this treaty or this organization. So entire civil aviation industry is governed by International Civil Aviation Organization, that is called ICAO. So wherever you see these, bold statements, bold words, these are the important points which you need to know. Okay, because tomorrow, if you want to upgrade yourself from one license to another license, tomorrow DGCA may be conducting a vivas for the licenses further on. Like as I said, that we will be having uh, RTR license which is coming. So RTR is more about the communication. So during that point in time, if you are going for RTR license in future, if that has been introduced, definitely there would be a viva, or there could be some online exam or something would be there. So where such kind of inputs are very important. Even during our theory session or theory class test, uh, these are the points which would be coming into your questions. So these are the some important. You should know what is the full form of ICAO, when it was started, where it was started, how many countries initially participated. All those inputs are required. Okay, then you have, of course, after the end of the day session, you will get a summary sheet. There is a summarized sheet of this, whatever we are talking about, which will be more helpful. You need to go through those summary sheet before your exam, run through those summary sheets, and drone rules. Drone rules are already available online. I will share you the drone rule sheets also, so that you will be handy for you for learning more about these things. So what are the ICAOs with respect to RPAS? Now here we are not going in detail with aviation, but we are focusing more on the RPAS. RPAS means remotely piloted aircraft system. Okay, so these acronyms you should know thoroughly. What is RPAS? What is RPA? ICAO, ICR, EIR, whatever these numbers are, small terminology comes, and what is the full form, you should be knowing them very well. So three focus areas of ICAO with respect to RPAS are like international instrument flying operations, global interoperability regarding to certificate of airworthiness, operator certificate, and remote pilot license. So you cannot have like for example, in civil aviation, you cannot have some different setting for your altimeter compared to my altimeter. So wherever, whichever plane you are flying, the altimeter should work, should have the basics as same as every aircraft has it. That's how you will able to make. So you, somebody said I am flying at 10,000 feet. Somebody would say that I am flying at 12,000 feet. So it will be a mismatch and it will cause a lot of challenges. So the settings, what you do into the instruments, the settings, what is required, every instrument in every aircraft across the world to be standard. So that's what is international, because most of the time when you're flying a aircraft, you are not flying visually. You're flying using instruments. Even when you're flying the drone, today, since we are operating in VLOS mode, we are actually seeing the drone how it is flying. But imagine when you are flying BVLOS, where you are not able to see your drone. Let's say how far you can see the drone. You can see drone hardly 500 meters, max to max. If your eyesight is good, 1,000 meters or 2,000 meters. That is 1 kilometer or 2 kilometer far. Also, you could say. But as you fly, since like example, you take up DJI, they are very small drones. So you're not able to make them out. Again, they are made of color white. Now they have actually changed the color and they make it black. But if you see the DJI Phantom is white color. When you're flying across the sky, sometimes you lose it completely. You can't see it. It's become very difficult. So that is the time when your instrument comes into the picture. Your control, remote control, what you are aiming at. Earlier there was no LCD panel on it. If you see initial drones also, there was no LCD panel. It was a simple RC panel with, there was LCD, but there was only basic sensor. But now, right now, the new drones what comes, they come with FPV cameras. So you know where actually your drone is flying, what is it seeing, how it is observing. You can see that live view feed also. Plus, there are a lot of inputs what it gives, like what is the battery voltage right now it is flying, how far it is, what are the GPS coordinates it's there. You know, a lot of information is given on your panel. So that's how you do instrumental flying. Okay, so that will come a very big picture. See, today you are seeing the drone and flying it, but tomorrow without seeing you are flying. So that will become an art. That will become a real skill of flying the drone without knowing, flying it blindly, something what we call. Okay, so you need to have a standards when you are flying your drone. So international instrument flying operations. Then you have interoperability. Like if you are today, we are very less drones are flown into cities. But as we start drone taxis, you know, deliveries, all these things will be there. Lot many drones will be flying. So there is something called UTM, okay, where lot many drones would be monitored on a big screen, and they will be monitoring which drone where, what is going on, and everything. So you know that will also come into the very much into picture. Third option is national authority focus, so that whatever drones are being flown within India or within even state, there should be some framework to be decided how and what cap you are setting up when you are flying a drone for your domestic operation. Like in our civil aviation, there is something called international flying or international flights, and then we have something called domestic flights. Okay, so for domestic flights, there are relations are being given where you can fly from one state to another state. You don't need any permission. You do not have to follow any certain rules which are not applicable from a international level. But still, between the domestic level, you need to follow whatever is the best practice, what is where the SOPs are being set under the civil aviation in India, you need to follow that. So same is applicable for the drone flying also. Today you are flying the drone, you have certain limit, you have certain airspace. You can't fly drone anywhere. Okay, you have a certain ceiling, I would say, ceiling or capping which has been defined where you can fly, where you cannot fly. If you are flying in a no zone, what precautions, what approvals you need to take. So all that is been defined into this national authority focus or framework for domestic operations. Okay. So you have any questions on this international rules, regulations, standards, and practice? This is very summarized. Okay. This is just because as we are beginning our drone career, we should know how the aviation industry started, how the aviation industry began, and what were the initial things. You can learn more about this on going on ICAO site. There are hundreds of documents available where you can understand more about civil aviation, even with respect to their drones. Also, ICAO has already made a separate segment, and how does that details are being taken by individually countries. Like by taking the ICAO standards, every country would develop their own certain rules. But if you see more or less all the rules, like today you are learning Indian Drone Rules 2021. But more or less, if you go to Europe, you go to US, you go to Middle East countries, or you go to any other country, Australia, New Zealand, their rules and regulations are almost similar because you are following ICAO standards. So that's how the standard. There might be little bit here and there in a difference in cappings. There might be difference. Like today we are categorizing, or I would say classifying our drones with respect to the weight. Some countries might be categorizing or classifying the drones with respect to the function of the drone. It depends upon it. But more or less, almost all the regulations, what I have seen, I have been following ESA's, European standards also, then US standards also. I have been connected with a lot of pilots who are based out of US. There are pilots who are based out of Europe. Some people who are based out of Singapore also, and we discuss regularly on what is been the rules and regulations with respect to our country and their countries, and how do you fly and what terminology you do approach and all this. More or less, they are similar, but there might be small differences here and there and all that. Okay, so but since we are bound by the ICAO rules, and India we are bound by the DPCA terminology. So these are the two things what we need to manage, maintain, and keep it in our mind. How do you follow the rules and regulations when we are flying drones? Okay, let's go to the next. So now let's see. As I said, RPAS. Okay, it's a remotely piloted aircraft system panel was formed for aircraft navigation commission. See, now you are coming closer to our century. So it started with 1944, then we came now to 2015. So our drone industry is very, very new. If you see globally, actually the active work, see, though people were flying, I talk sometimes into my webinars, in drone webinars where I talk about history of uh, drones. So it started with initially, the balloon flying in Austria, where they were used balloons, remotely triggered bombs were attached to it, and it would go to the enemy territory and automatically dispatch the bombs on the civilians and all that thing. So that's how your actually drone industry started, or remotely piloted aircraft system. So even those balloons were flown remotely. Okay, so they were planned, they were executed in such a way. Even from Japan also had did this kind of activity during World War II. Okay, so those were the histories, and then after the World War II, lot of aircrafts were designed to flow remotely for surveillance purposes or reconnaissance purposes, where you will flow across the land and you will take the picture so that you know how the enemy territory is been designed, where what structure is been made, and so they can plan the flight plan and then travel and accordingly. But more important, the drone industry started standardizing the way the civil industry or civil aviation industry was standardized in ICAO in Canada. In 2015, there was a different team was formed, that was Aircraft Navigation Commission. Into the single focal point was unmanned aircraft system. How ICAO will govern them, that's how they design. So what were the points? So the group members who were part of the ICAO, they defined what are the things we need to look into it. One is airworthiness. That means the drone what you make. As I said, I'm very much interested in building the drone. You can't simply make a drone with any material. There are certain parts, certain things you need to follow. Okay, so airworthiness. Then how is your drones are going to fly? Air traffic management. Then detect and avoid. When two drones or two or more drones are flying, how they will fly. That currently that this scenario is also not there. There is one more feature which is going to get incorporated into the drones right now, which will start broadcasting about itself, so that you will able to detect which drone where it is flying. It is called ADSB. Okay, so avoidance and detection kind of thing it will be there. Then your human performance, when you are flying a drone, how you are performing yourself, how you are maintaining, like how the pilots needs to be very much following certain rules. They cannot just, like, for example, they cannot have hard drinks before 8 hours if they have a flight to fly. So there are a lot many things you have to understand as a human performance, how you are, because you are flying it responsibly. There have to be safety, security things you need to follow. Then how are you giving licensing to the pilots? How the licensing, like as of now we are getting trained for a small class license. So how this small class license works? then how you will going to upgrade yourself to different classes, different categories. Like today you are flying a rotorcraft or you are getting trained for a rotorcraft. Tomorrow you might want to train yourself for hybrid or maybe aircraft also. So different licensings are there. And then of course the most important is remotely pilot aircraft system operations, how you are actually flying. And then the last, the most important, safety management, where when you are flying the drone, and the communication channels. Okay, communication, or what we call as a C2 link. Okay, so there is always a communication between drone and the pilot and the remote control what you have. So how these are the I would say different topics, or you can say seven important aspects of remotely pilot aircraft system. So this is entire system of so when we see the aircraft, we may call it as a RPA also. It is remotely piloted aircraft. But when we talk about in totality, your control, the pilot, all this becomes as a system. So there might be a question coming, how do you differentiate between RPA and RPAS? So S means complete, in totality the system, whereas RPA means it's the only aircraft or your drone. Normally, sometimes you call it as a UAS, UVA, or RPA. All these are the same terminology. Okay, but when we S is added to it, it's in totality the system. It's the complete unit. It could be a remote control, the pilot, whatever the things are connected to it, all that become as a system. But when we talk about individually drone, it is RPA, remotely piloted aircraft. Okay. Do you have any questions? So these are the seven aspects: airworthiness, air traffic, detect and avoidance systems, human performance, piloting license, RPAS operations, and safety management, along with communication and C2 links. Okay. Now, as we say in India, how the civil aviation is evolved or how it is following. So, what we are following, the first rule was passed, which is known as Aircraft Act 1934. Okay, even before the convention was formed, India already had its own Aircraft Act. Okay, the Britishers, they have already set up the law as the as you know, the first aircraft flown by JRD Tata in 1928. So after 6 years, since not many planes, not very extensively, but still they were flying. So there needs to be some rules, some regulations to be there. So Britishers formed this rule, which is called Aircraft Act 1934, the first law passed in India to regulate the civil aviation industry and make better provision for control of manufacturing, because aircrafts were also manufactured. Aircrafts were also being owned by a lot of bigger people, like some kings, princely states. They were having their own airstrip. They were having their own aircraft. They were purchasing a lot of aircraft from US, UK, or different people, different states, different countries who are actually making smaller aircraft for, I mean, those people who can afford them. So possession, use, operation, sale, import, export of the aircraft. So still we are following these rules. Still we are following these regulations. Already current government has already put a new rules which is being proposed. So I hope that will also now get proposed. And there are a lot many changes which were suggested in recent bill, where there will be changes into this content. So the over the period, this regulation has a lot of amendment over the period of time, as they feel that we need to have certain changes or some amendment has to be done into this rule. So this is also available. I will be sharing these documents to you by end of this on the mail, so that you are handy with these documents, or even you can search it on the Google. It's very easily available. But still, I will share it to you so that you have all these document in place with you, so that you can learn more about it. Okay. Whereas we have Aircraft Rule 1937 under the Aircraft Act 1934 to apply. So initially was for the aircraft. Okay. The first Aircraft Act is more or less from the operations of the aircraft, but aircraft rules is more from a perspective not only to the aircraft, but it's applied to a person also on the aircraft registered in India. Okay. Aircraft operators in India, as well as aircraft for time being in and over Indian airspace. Like for example, somebody is flying a aircraft from, let's say, from Dubai or from UK, and he is over the Indian airspace. So he needs to follow aircraft rules 1937. If we are flying our aircraft from here to, let's say, UK or maybe some European country, we need to follow their rules when we are into their airspace. The same would be applicable for drones also tomorrow. If we are flying a bigger drones like aircraft drones, unmanned drones, what we call. So when it is flying within our region, we'll follow our rules. But if there is something, let's say I'm flying a mission in some like remote location, like if I'm doing some kind of mission in South Africa, like how this terrorist Taliban was killed, right? He was killed by using the drone. So Americans have flown the drone and they have been coming over to the Pakistan territory, and then but when they're flying, they need to make sure that they are following the local rules and regulations when they're flying, whatever it is. Okay. So what is the car? Car is nothing but civil aviation requirement. So in India, whenever there is any rules or regulations coming into the picture with relative to the civil aviation, there is something called car. Okay, car has been released. So we have to know what are different cars are there. Similarly, when the drone rules before 2021 was there, there was a car. There is actually a car which was released for flying the drones within India. Okay, so there is always a car. We can see it on our DGCA website. What are the new cars are being released or whatever the amendments are being done into it. So if you see car for RPAS was issued under the provision rule 15A and rule 133A of the aircraft rules 1937. So as they felt that there was a requirement to introduce RPAS in India. So I think somewhere around 2019. So it started from 2017, 18, and 19. During this period, there were lot many small cars were introduced, so that people, because we were saying it was started adopted. Lot many people were flying the drones that point in time. There were lot many drones available that point in time, be it DJI or a lot of people who were going to US. They used to bring a lot of drones and they were been flying. And people started feeling that there needs to be certain regulations, certain governing policy needs to be there. So initially under the civil aviation law or civil aviation rules 1934, 1937, certain amendments or certain points were added into the car under 15A rule and 133A rule. So these are the two important rules we should know how the car was operated for flying the RPAS. So this 15A and 133A are only applicable for RPAS, that is remotely piloted aircraft system. Okay. Any questions here? Do you have any question?
But car is a comprehensive document for overall civil aviation, right? So in
Yeah.
that
Car
15A and
actually car releases car whatever, like it could be car 1, car 2, car 3, car 4, car 5. So like that there will be different documents available for particular amendments.
okay, okay, okay.
So in totality, the comprehensive document what you say is Aircraft Act 1934 and Aircraft Rules 1937. In that rules or that act, you need to do some amendment to create a car. I mean, DGC would make a car, and that car would be released.
Okay.
Yeah, Pranay, you have any question?
थोडं ते कार बद्दलच मराठीमध्ये थोडंसं समजावलं तर
Yeah.
बरं होईल म्हणजे
Just give me 2 minutes. Let me.
कारण की ते कार म्हणजे नक्की एक्झॅक्टली काय आहे ते
I got it.
थोडंसंच हा.
You're seeing this document. I'm just open a random document. Okay, so when we say car, like abhi jaise dekho, the microlight aircraft, there were some regulations was required. So they will create a document in detail because your initial document, when you are talking about 1934, they would have developed the document based on that point in time how the aircraft were there. But over the period of time, your technology has changed. The way you operate the devices or the way you operate your aircraft would change, right? Like earlier, it was completely manual, completely visual flying when 1934. But over the period of time, you have developed the technology. You had made better instruments, better things to fly and all this. So you need to incorporate certain changes. Like पहले कैसे like temperature measure करने के लिए like we used to use a simple thermometer. But over the period of time, you got an instrument which will show you display digitally or even horizon. You are inside the aircraft where you are not seeing anything outside, or you are seeing, but you are still limited with the whatever the windows you have. You can't see everywhere. And sitting in the aircraft, you do not know how your plane is aligned. ऊपर है, नीचे जा रहा है, नीचे आ रहा है, ऊंचा रहा है. You do not know because in a cockpit you are sitting. It's a compressed. It's a controlled environment. So you will not know how the aircraft is flying. So you need to know whether I'm flying straight, whether I'm banking up, left, right, up and down, whatever it is. You should know. So when you are seeing that instrument, you will know. So how that instrument is functioning or how you need to read those instruments, that would be defined into the car. Similarly, there could be a rules which would say, एक minute, huh? See, this is another car. Okay, so this is, if you see, this is before your actual rules. Our rules, drone rules, has come in August 2021. So this is document made in March 2021. So this is one document. So over the period of time, this document was only updated and made as a separate document as a drone rules. But initially, it was a part of the drone rules only as a car. Okay, so you see a lot of similarity into it, how it was defined, manufacturing, you know, this is now an absolute document. I would say this is now no longer to follow. What we have to follow is something like a latest. See, now we are drone port. Now this is not there in our existing drone rules. Okay, so this was initially lot many. They have clubbed too many things, but over the period of time, not only the DGCA team, but they also involved a lot of people who are actually flying the drones. A lot of organs, like they have invited Bombay Flying Club, they have invited some people from Chennai. There are people involved from Hyderabad. There were some people from Delhi. There were some people from Gujarat. Different states who are actively involved into the drone industry initially. During that point in time, they have involved. They have called almost 25 people to Delhi for 2 days to discuss these rules and come up to a standard which can be adopted across pan India. And that's how the drone rules 2021 came into the picture.
Mangesh, can I interrupt?
Yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, so when government releases an act on any aircraft, I mean, if, for example, a drone rule of 2021 act has been passed, so there must be something, I mean, maybe DGCA or some other team must be drafted some rules, and on as 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 per that document, the act is passed or
Correct.
act is created.
Correct.
So, can I consider car as something?
So what you are saying is this
Uh,
is the first car. What you're seeing on your screen, see
okay,
this, you starts with civil aviation requirement. Section 3
okay,
Airport Transport Series X Part 1 issued on 27th August 2018. As I said, in India, the first set of rules, okay, which was supposed for this requirement of operation of civil remotely aircraft system are passed. So this is the first car. Okay, if you read this, okay, this is a 37-page document. Earlier, it was only in English. Okay, here they have defined how the drones are categorized, what are the applicability. See, this car is applicable for civil remotely piloted aircraft which are remote piloted from remote pilot station. Okay. So very lot of it was very difficult for a lot of people to understand that point in time. So which was important, that was kept, lot of things were scrapped from this initial document. So this is the first car with respect to the RPAS. Okay, so you can read this, you can go through this and understand what are things being incorporated. Like see a security program as approved by Vikas. There was something called GA. For the period of time, you will understand what is GA. Okay. Then what was the safety and security requirements, remote pilot training requirements. Okay. So if you see from this document to the current document, what we are following, lot of simplicity has come into it. There were almost 75 forms to be filled if you want to start a training organization. Right now, if I want to start a training organization, I just need to fill one form. Okay, so simplicity. So from 75 total forms were created, different forms for different purposes. It has now brought down to only 5 forms. So if you are operating under drone industry rules or drone rules 2021, now there are only just 5 forms. That's it. Whether you are registering yourself as a pilot, you are registering your own drone, you are registering as a training organization, or you are making your own drone, for type certification. All this makes only 5 forms, and that's where we are going to learn more about in digital sky introduction. How these 75 forms have been brought down to 5 forms only. So see this RPAS maintenance requirement, equipment requirement. I mean, they were very. I mean, they were very detailed, but still not very user friendly. They were just rules. If you start following these rules, it will be very difficult for a pilot to fly a drone, or to register a drone itself was very challenging. Okay, so lot many challenges were there in this, but over the period of time, these rules were given to the people who were actually involved into this industry, and they came back. In fact, DGCA asked these people to provide suggestions, provide inputs, how and what should be done. How do you make it simpler in making sure that we follow safety and security? You know, so all that things were taken into picture. Then they have consulted outside organizations also, like different countries, what they are doing. That was also shared. Then they have consulted ICAO also. There was a training which was conducted by ICAO also in Canada, where some people have flown there, they have sat with the other people of other countries, and then they came up with a very standard. I mean, we need to understand what, because see, if my pilot has been trained, like if I'm driving a car in India, he should be able to drive a car in Europe also or in US also. Maybe there might be little bit here and there. Like here we are doing right hand drive, they might have a left hand drive, but still you are you are driving the car in the same way, right? Same thing, if you are flying a drone in India, you should be able to fly the drone in Europe or in US or even Singapore or Hong Kong or Australia, anywhere location. Because over the period of time, again this RPAS will come as a one single entity. Your drones which have been manufactured in India will be flying in South Africa. So they should be able to capable of, that's where airworthiness comes into the picture. My aircraft which is made in India should be able to fly and follow the standards of, let's say, Africa or maybe Europe or maybe America, wherever location globally. Standardization has to come into the picture. We can't just make rules for ourselves. We need to see, if you want to stand out globally, we need to see that our rules are as far as same as what the globe is following. There might be smaller here and there changes, based on the what we call the rule of the land, you know, from that perspective, or need of the requirement for that particular location, geographical location.
So
So,
every time the government releases an act, so there will be a car according to that.
huh.
हाँ
So I'll tell you, from a civil aviation perspective, car has been followed. But now, since we have adopted drone rules 2021, so drone rules 2021 is our base document. After that, there were certain amendments still done, but they were not released as a car, but they were released as a DTC. Okay, drone training circulars. Okay, So there was DTC-1, DTC-2, DTC-3, and the year 2022, 2023. So wherever is applicable. I mean, there were not major changes into the drone rules. We are still following the drone rules. Certain, like if you see the drone rules, our certificate, our license, the drone flying license, it was called as RPL, RPC, Remote Pilot License. But they made an amendment because there was a lot of confusion because license gives a different understanding for the people. So they changed it to RPC. Now it is called RPC, Remote Pilot Certificate. Okay. So certain changes were there. We will see when we go through the digital sky and we'll see DTC and all that. So this is the first document which was released. I will show you the Aircraft Act also. So this was the Aircraft Act 1934. Okay, it's very very simple. I mean, it was very I would say not such a comprehensive document. It's just finished. See the Aircraft Act 1934 now. Okay, so these are the document which talks about what and how. But over the period of time, this is more elaborative, more comprehensive, more defined points have been put up into the document. Very, very complicated to understand. See here, 15 power of issue of direction, director general direction or any officer. To read and understand itself, you need some time. It's like a language of law. If you are reading any law book, same fashion they are written.
Okay.
Sometimes to
So if
interpret them also it becomes difficult.
if
But
there is a
yeah,
so if there is a new rule has been amended, I mean an addition.
right.
So as a remote pilot, licensed guy or someone. So how they will know? I mean, they have to refer a car released by a DGCA or how it
From a
is.
civil aviation perspective, let's assume that you are a pilot of an aircraft. You are associated with DGCA. So definitely you will get a lot of information. You can reach out to DGCA website also where they will put up whatever the new rules and regulations or any amendment comes into the picture. Similarly, from a drone perspective, Digital Sky is your platform.
Okay.
Okay, where they will release the document.
Okay.
Make sure you just to give you an idea. Let
Okay.
me open the Digital Sky also for you. So this is the website. Okay, Digital Sky, okay, where you will get everything. If you go to here, you will see all the circulars related to digital.
Mm-hmm.
If you go
Okay.
to home page and you scroll down, you see here drone rules 2021 and then drone amendment rules 2022. If you
Okay.
open this, the actual document of drone rules will open. So this is almost 43 pages. Half is in Hindi and halfway it starts with English. Here.
Okay.
See, this is important. 25th August 2021 drone rules. Okay, so these were
Okay.
the draft drone rules. Okay, started, and then it says central government has proposed to make use of association unmanned aircraft rule 27 were published. Okay, see section 14 Aircraft Act 1934, 22 of 1934. Okay, when 15 July. So this was initially the car civil aviation number GSR. Car was there, and everything gets created by this rule, this document. So now no longer you need to follow any other document. This is your base document for drone tools. So
Okay.
they have given reference initially from where what this document comes from.
Mm-hmm.
10A, 10B, 12, wherever they have made changes, it will be there. All documents will be in similar type of languages. And then it starts with. If you see this is exactly the way the Aircraft Act rule was also made. The sections, and then it starts with short title, extent, definition. So similarly, if you see this, you will see short title, application,
Mm-hmm.
will have definitions, the definition. So this is how the documents have been prepared. Standards, easy for reading purpose and all. So these are the documents what you need to follow. Most important for you as of now, as you are becoming a certified pilot, your drone rules 2021 is the Bible for you. It's a Gita for you. Okay? So you have to follow that document. So we'll be going through this document very often, regularly. What does it says about the category? What does it say about classification? What does it say about the penalties? What does it say in every different scenarios? Okay, let's go ahead. So AIP is nothing but Aeronautical Information Publication is a prime document containing permanent information of a long-term validity essential for flight operation. It is published by each ICAO state for its territory. Like as I said, ICAO is a complete global entity. But with respect to Europe, with respect to India, there might be some document or some regulations would be coming for a long-term permanent. So it is called API, AIP, sorry, Aeronautical Information Publication. This is more from a civil aviation. Not as of now, these are not applicable for drone rules, but these are over the period time these would come into the picture in drone rules also, or drone, they will adopt certain whatever the best things are there, they are into the civil aviation that is been adopted into the drone part. Again, this NOTAM. NOTAM is nothing but more or less for um, what do you say, transmitted by means of telecommunication containing information concerning the establishment condition, change in aeronautical facilities, services. Like for example, there are so many aircraft, right? Airports or aerodromes across places. तो वो एरोड्रोम में सपोज एक नया रडार डाल दिया, okay, or एक रडार malfunction हो गया, या you set up some, like we hear a lot of time now. T1 terminal was there. T2 terminal has been built. So when you build a T2 terminal, new facilities will set up. So where you will document that information, like when the pilot is flying, let's say Mumbai to Ahmedabad. So before he is flying, he need to understand his airport as well as the airport which he is flying. Also, in a path, there are multiple. There might be an airport which is related to Surat. So he wanted to know more about the Surat airport. What is there? What is not there? Whether Surat airport I can fly daytime, not daytime or in the night. Like you are not allowed to land aircraft in Surat in night because they do not have a facility of that instrument landing system. You can fly and after 6 p.m. you are not allowed to land the aircraft on Surat airport. Example. I'm just giving an example. There might be some airport which are only functioning in a daytime. Okay, like for example, we have airport in Maharashtra, Kolhapur, where we can only fly during daytime. After 6 p.m., you cannot land the aircraft over there because they do not have that light navigation kind of thing over there. Instrumental flying landing system is not installed over there. But let's say over the period time, they want to make their airport functional for 24 hours. So they have to put all these facilities. They might have to upgrade their radar system. They might have to upgrade facilities because since from 12 hours you are making it 24 hours. So people will be in shifts, working in the shifts. So a lot of additional facility also has to be set up. So all this information, be it aeronautical facility, be it service facility, be it procedures, hazardous from perspective, like you need to put up a fire station within the airport premises because any given point in time if there is a kind of emergency, you need to have a fire brigade, you need to have a water tankers, everything, all these facilities needs to be put up. So as you are making changes to the facility or anything, or even communication, telecommunication setup, radar setup kiya, any whatever the new technology you have incorporated, different, you have upgraded your radar system, better quality, better functional radar is set up. You need to put that information into NOTAM. So that airport or this particular aerodrome will put up this thing. So with respect to the location, Surat airport, you need to see what is NOTAM available, latest NOTAM available accordingly. So that will give it. So sometimes you do something temporary also. And information temporarily valid usually for 1 month. You might, uh, what do you say, you stop some certain services for certain period time due to upgradation. You will release the NOTAM. So that will be helpful for a pilot to know what is changes. And so it is a mandatory for pilot to go through this document. So whenever you are flying, a aircraft from one location to another location, you need to know whatever is required. You know, similarly for drone flying also, I will talk about more about when we are actually running the digital stack. Like whether wherever I am flying my drone, whether it is a safe to fly, whether that drone flying location is under green zone. Because every time I have to fly the drone only in green zone. If it is red and yellow, I need to take the approach. So before flying actually drone, you need to know, make sure that your drone you are flying is in a green zone. So how do you know? You will like how aircraft has been flown. They read NOTAM, they read AIP. Similarly, we have to go to digital stack. Okay, we need to see if there is any change has come into the particular zone. Suddenly, last in December month, entire Pune region, Pune, Ahmednagar, Solapur, was completely under a red zone. You could not operate drones in that region completely. It was almost for a 1 month you would not have operated. All of a sudden they made changes into the location and they converted that green zone to red. So all the training centers which were there in that region, they could not even do training also because you cannot have drone flying. You can't train people in red zone. You need to be always have your. That is the reason why Bombay Flying has the training center outside Mumbai because in Mumbai is completely red zone. You need to go to certain location outside at least 100 kilometers uh, safe distance where you can comfortably fly drone, and that also the location has to be certified by DPC. For us to get that location certified, we almost took more than I would say 3 months. There were lot many discussions happening. There were people who had come from Delhi. DPC people team has come. They have inspected the entire property. They had seen the future. They had suggested some changes. Last moment, they have suggested some changes, certain amendment to be done in the infrastructure, and then only they certified it. For after their visit, also almost it took 1 month to get our certification, okay, for this new location. Earlier, our flying was happening at Dhule Airport. So we have a Dhule Airport completely under Bombay Flying entity, where we used to operate aircraft as well as drone training. But when your aircraft is flying, we cannot do drone flying. When drone flying is there, you cannot do aircraft flying. So it was impacting both educations, both operations. And then again it was very far from Mumbai. Go to Dhule location, it was almost a 1 day travel, 8 hours. So you have to spend 1 hour, 1 day for travel, then you fly there for 3 days, then you come back again. So in it, flying itself was 5 days actually. Whereas here it is just nearby. Just 3 to 4 hours you can go to Igatpuri and you can comfortably start your training. You're not wasting your time, and that's why. And we wanted it nearly within the green zone, easier to access from Nashik, Mumbai, Ahmednagar, Pune, anywhere people in the Maharashtra can come to that location easily. That's why we have moved from Dhule as an independent location for flying, completely dedicated. So we, over the period of time, we'll upgrade ourselves. Right now, we have authorization for small. We'll upgrade ourselves to medium. We'll upgrade ourselves to hybrid. We'll upgrade maybe future 1 year down the line. We are already talking with other bodies where we are going to set up a small runway for aero modeling kind of aircraft flying, small aircraft, pilotly aircraft flying systems. We will set up a 1200-meter runway, small runway where people can fly and learn those kind of things. That's what we envisioned ourselves over the period of time. Next 1 year or 2 years, we'll have a complete full functional facility where all sort of trainings related to the drone industry. Even we are going to set up a vertiport over there where the drone flying, let's say from any other location, can remotely come here because as I said, viewers will come into the picture. So your drone will can land there, change the batteries or charge the batteries, and then again flow back for further activity. So all that facilities would come up at that location. So let's move ahead. So as I said, drone rules 2021 and overview. So what are the things covered in drone rules? Of course, the first part, most important, the drones what are there in India, they need to be registered with the government body. So that's the important part. That is the drone registration. What you need to do. The people who are flying, they should be certified. That's why it's called drone pilot license is there. Then The people who are getting trained, there has to be some training schools. So drone pilot training organization or DPCA approved drone training schools, which we call as RPTOs, remotely pilot training organization. How they are doing. Then whatever the drones you are manufacturing them, there has to be some standardization when you are making a drone. What standards you need to follow? Be it battery, be it propeller, be it motor, be it your flight controllers, be it frame of your drone, be it the landing gear. What are the safety systems involved into it? All that is being governed by a type certificate document. So that is QCI, the Quality Control of India, actually, which is the body which actually certifies your drone as a type certified. As I said, we have 94 type certified drones which are right now certified by QCI under the drone rules. Then the insurance plays very important role. Any drone you are flying, you should have a third party insurance. That's similar to what you are actually flying, driving the car. Whenever you're driving a car or a motorbike, the RTO makes sure that you have a valid insurance of the car. You have a valid driving license. Similarly, DGCA is playing the same role of RTO. So you make sure that your drone is having insurance. Your drone is also covered under AMC. Okay. Then when you are flying a drone, make sure you are flying the drone in green zone. Okay. So no permission required. If you are in green zone, you don't require any permission. You can fly the drone. Okay. But there are still certain rules, certain procedures you need to follow with respect to the green zone. You can't just fly you have a DJI drone. You can't, if there is a property in a green zone, you can't just fly the drone over that property because that will be a trespassing. Okay, you are doing somebody's privacy. So you need to follow those rules. Of course, for yellow and red zone, you need to get the permissions like Mumbai airport or Bangalore airport or Chennai airport, any airport within the country. They all are red zone areas. But if you required to fly a drone over there, there is a certain procedures has to be followed, certain approvals has to be taken. Like example, when Bangalore airport was inaugurated, that point in time they wanted to take the aerial photograph. They want to fly the drone to take it. Even though it was a government activity, still the body which was doing this activity, capturing the complete event of inauguration of Bangalore airport, through the drone if it was captured, they need to follow certain procedures. They need to take the approvals. After that, only they were allowed to fly the drone in that region. So that's what is important. Okay, that's about the drone rules. We'll go through in detail about the drone rules shortly. So what does it say? Classification and category. So now a lot of people make mistake when we talk about the drone. The category means a type. Okay, what drone it is, whether it is a rotorcraft, whether it is an aeroplane, whether it is a hybrid. When we say rotorcraft, is four propellers, six propellers, eight propellers. Those rotorcraft. Aeroplane means it's similar to your aeroplane, aircraft, but it is unmanned. Understand? See, what is the statement? UAS stands for Unmanned Aircraft System. Whereas if you see US categorized, now US unmanned aircraft, how they are categorized? They are categorized into three types. One is rotorcraft, one is aeroplane, and the combination of rotorcraft and aeroplane is a hybrid. So it can take off, or it sometimes the hybrid is also called as VTOL. VTOL means vertically take off. VTOL. Hybrid is also
Can you
called as
come? Can you come
hybrid.
again? Be tall.
VTOL.
We lost you. Lost your voice.
VTOL is Victory, Tiger, Oscar, Lima. VTOL. Vertically take
Okay.
off and landing. So hybrid is also called as VTOL. Now this is a category of a drone. Now, but in India, the drones are categorized, or I would say classified, not categorized. See, category is a very wrong word when we are defining the drone with respect to the classification or with respect to the weight. So you have classification of your US as nano, micro, small, medium, and large. If your drone weight is less than 250 kg, it is called nano. If your drone weight is more than 250 kg but less than 2 kg, less than, okay, less than 2 kg, it is called as micro. If your drone weight is more than 2 kg but less than 25 kg, okay, so it is small. Whereas if your drone is more than 25 kg but less than 150 kg, it is medium. If your drone is more than 150 kg up to 500 kg, is large. Okay. Now, if I ask you, if I have a drone of, let's say, 25 kg, what classification it will follow?
परत परत सर काय प्रश्न होता?
समजा आपला ड्रोनचा वेट आहे 25 kg, एक्झॅक्ट 25 kg. The weight is exact 25 kg. So what class it will fall into?
It's
Small.
small.
Think again. I am saying exact 25 kg.
मीडियम मध्ये येईल ते.
Yes, correct. Because your small is 2 kg and above, up to
अप
or
टू
less than
25 kg.
up to less than 25 in fact. So when you are actually touching 25, you are actually into the medium. So for example, if you have a drone, let's say we have our drone, we are flying agriculture drone, agribot, which is actually a small, which is having 10-liter tank. And tomorrow I upgrade that tank from 10-liter to 16 liters. Definitely my weight, because right now it is within 25, it is somewhere 24 kg, 500 grams, something like that. So less than 25. But as I upgrade my water tank or pesticide tank to 16 liters, so definitely because changing 600 liters, 600 milliliters or 6 liters, sorry, 6 liters will increase the weight from 25 to more. It is going somewhere around 28 kg. So my drone will become medium. But can I really call it as medium? Can I make that changes officially or legally? You are not allowed because the drone is following certain rules called type certification. When this drone was certified, this drone was certified as a small. So I cannot make changes to the certified or a type certified drones. If they are belonging to small, they have to be small. Even the payload, when the type certified drone are being certified or they have given a certificate, they have already defined what payload it can take, what payload was supposed to be there with that drone. You can't just simply remove the payload and put another thing. So that means you are changing the entire functionality of the drone, and it is not been tested, it is not been certified. That's why it is not allowed. Okay, so you need to follow the type certification documents also whenever you are flying the particular drone. You can't simply make changes because if you make changes, your warranty, you will lose the warranty, you will lose the insurance capability, you will lose a lot of things, and then you will be completely responsible for your actions. If it malfunctions or whatever happens, you will be completely in fault. So you make sure that whatever drones you're flying, you don't make any changes. You follow the best practices. You follow the OEM rules and regulations or OEM standards. Like if I purchase a drone, for example, from DPA or any company, they always release certain manuals, certain documents. What should I do? What should I not do? All that thing. Of course, there are small things are required. Like you can change the propellers. You are changing the batteries. You are changing. Sometimes landing gears get damaged. You are changing the landing gears. All the things. So smaller changes which are certified or advisable, you need to do this. But if you are doing certain, like for example, there is a flight controller. You feel that I will change the flight controller. You can't change the flight controller. You can't change the GPS model. If you're changing these important components, you need to recertify your drone. You need to, take the type certification up. So that's why it is advisable not to make any changes to the drone components. Okay. So are you clear on the classification and categorization of the drone?
Yes, sir.
I hope you understood what is rotorcraft, aeroplane. A lot of people make mistakes over here. Okay. किसी को रोटोग्राफ बोलना है, किसको एरोप्लेन बोलना है. I mean, there is a lot of confusion between people. And then again, when you classify your drone with respect to your weight, nano, micro, medium, and all. So if I show you, if you see here in our drone rules, the same thing what we talk about. Okay, first let's understand uh, the title of the drone rules. It's called Drone Rules 2021. Okay, it's the official as per the date of publication. The date of publication, you are already aware that it's 25th August 2021. Now, where these rules are applicable? These rules are applicable to all person owing or possessing or engaged in leasing, operating, transferring, or maintaining an unmanned aircraft system in India. Okay, so this rules is applicable to any person who is operating, possessing, or engaged, or even if you are leasing, like you start your own company where you're leasing your drones, but still you are owner of them. Like how you might have a fleet of cars, but you are giving your driver, but still the owner of the car is responsible for lot many things. Okay. Similarly, things. Even if you're leasing, operating, transferring, or maintaining an aircraft system, this rules is applicable to you and all an unmanned aircraft system that are registered in India. That means all the drones which are registered, be it DGI, be it type certified, any drone which are you are operating in India and registered in India have to follow drone rules 2021. And probably, like for example, sometimes we go from one location, like I go to Europe, let's say, I carry my DJI drone. So that point in time, I am following the rules and regulation of Europe. Similarly, if somebody brings a drone from outside within the India, all the unmanned aircraft systems that are being operated for the time being in and over India, they have to follow this. You may have to temporarily register your drone on DGCA platform. You may have to take certain approvals from DGC. So whatever the drone rules 2021 says, irrespective, if you are flying your drone within India, you have to follow these rules. That's what it says. So that's the application where these rules are applied. Okay, and this provision of aircraft rules 1937 shall not apply to unmanned aircraft system except because, as we said earlier, we were following aircraft rules 1937, and then there was car was released. But after these rules came into the picture, these rules becomes the base document or a Bible to start for all the rules and regulations. So, provision of aircraft rule 1937 shall not apply to unmanned aircraft system except in case of an unmanned aircraft system with maximum all of weight of more than 500 kilograms. Because our drone rules are being classified as per the large category where it ends 500 kg. So within 500 kg, drone rules will apply. If your aircraft, unmanned aircraft, drone taxi, what we are talking about, this is actually for drone taxi or a delivery drone where we may be delivering certain cargo of more than 500 kg. So that means your capacity of your drone is 500 kg more. So there, these drone rules will not be coming into the picture. You need to follow aircraft rules 1937. If it is within 500 kilogram, your drone rules will come in. If it is more than 500 grams, drone rules will not come into the picture. It will be treated as an aircraft. So aircraft rules 1937 needs to be followed. Okay, these rules shall not be applied to unmanned aircraft system belonging to or used by the naval, military, or air force of the Union of India. I mean, like a lot of time you might be hearing a lot of news that Navy has purchased some drones or Army has purchased some drones from US. We are already in discussion. We have already purchased some drones from US also. Predator drones have been purchased, and we are flying for monitoring our borders and all the things, especially in Ladakh or even Pakistan border or the China border. So whatever drones are being flown, which may be owned by the Army, Navy, or Air Force, they do not follow this. So they follow different. They have their own set of standards that is not being run by. Or they may outsource the activity, like they may outsource to Pranay, some surveillance activity. when he's doing his drone, is not follow the drone, follow the military. So they have certain different rules and regulations when they are flying over the border area or for the purpose of military or purpose. Like for example, there is a law order in a city and they coordinate Pranay to fly his drone and give them data for surveillance purpose, for monitoring purpose. That point in time, he is associated with me. So that point in time, his drone or his activity or his operation will not come under this fund. Okay, that's why. Then drone rules shall not apply to an unmanned aircraft system belong to or use. Because they may use third-party drones also. They may outsource that activity to some vendor also. A lot of times it happens. Like Adani. Adani is doing some activity. They have purchased drones from Israel. Adani is doing a lot of modern surveillance activity. I would all of
आवाज जातोय
We
सर
lost your
तुमचा.
voice.
हॅलो.
Madi, I think so. So Adani will not follow the drone rules. They will follow the rules belonging to Navy or maybe to the Army also. That extent. Okay. Then we'll see the definitions. So let's go back first. Okay. So as I said, categorization you can see in pictorial format. Hybrid. Hybrid means you have four propellers, and actually there will be five propellers in hybrid. Four for takeoff and landing, and one for moving across the sky. Aeroplane is completely like your aircraft, okay, whereas rotorcraft is completely like your normal drone, four propellers, four or more propellers. There are drones which are made with less, like two propellers or three propellers, or even single propeller ones. But then they are very difficult to fly or to have a stable. To fly a stable drone, we need minimum four propellers, four or more, sometimes six, eight, 12. The more the propeller, the more capacity of takeoff it will take, more weight capacity it will increase. Okay. Whereas categorization, as we see, this is subcategory. Category, there is something called subcategory.
Couldn't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I think sometimes I lose it. Okay. So subcategory is remotely piloted aircraft system, which is RPAS. Then there is a model RPAS. Like you fly aeroplanes, aero modeling planes. So they come under model RPAS. Okay. And then there is something called autonomous. That means completely automated. The pilot is not at all controlling. Like for example, in agriculture, when I'm doing a pesticide spraying activity, I will completely fly the drone in autonomous mode. I will define the path. I will define the entire how it has to start it from a start position. It will fly. It will start spraying from a particular location in a certain pattern. So that is completely autonomous flying. Okay, one is you are manually flying yourself. That is RPAS or remotely piloted aircraft system. RPAS can also become an autonomous if I put it in autonomous mode. Okay, whereas model RPAS is belonging to the devices which are actually made for model, like aeroplanes, small aeroplanes which you fly for fun or for entertainment or recreational activities. So those come under RPAS. So earlier there was no rules and regulations for aero modeling people. Now aero modeling is also covered under drone rules 2020 because again the aircraft which you are flying or the aeroplane which you are flying, it doesn't have any pilot inside. You are flying it remotely, so it is more or less like your drone only. So that's why they have been incorporated into the drone rules 2021 as category subcategory as model RPAS.
Kind of toy aeroplanes,
Toy,
toy
toy,
helicopters.
toy
Yeah.
aeroplanes. I'll show you in the second session a small model aeroplane or something like that. Okay. As I said, classification again more from critical. Nano is less than 250 grams. Micro is 250 grams to 2 kg. Small is 2 kg to less than 25 kg. Medium is again 25 kg to 150 kg. Then large is more than 150 kg up to 500 kg. Okay, the higher limit is not defined over here, but it's up to 500 kg. If you see the medium right now it is showing medium 25 kg to less than 150 kg. But as of now, okay, under drone rules 2021, it is limited. The medium category is still limited only up to 50 kg. People who are doing testing or doing, they're still allowed to use the medium category only up to 50 kg. Somebody might ask you, if I have a drone more than 100 kg, can I fly? Yes, you can fly, but it is still not authorized to fly. You can fly it only from a testing perspective, or if you're trying to develop some prototype for that purpose with certain rules and regulations and approvals. Okay. So right now, operationally or legally, if you want to fly a drone in medium class, you can fly it below 50 kg in India. Any questions here on the classification? Because this is the most important part to understand when you're flying a
I mean,
drone.
you said, do they in the medium scale? I mean, in the medium drone.
Mhm.
So you said if you are trying to fly in the medium, so I mean, the drone should be less than 50 kgs. I mean, is it some improvement or revision is coming on, or
Yeah,
it is
then
changed?
they will upgrade. They will update. So they are really, see, 50 kg drone is very. I would say, if you see from the weight perspective, you're flying a drone. Assume that drone falls on somebody. What would happen?
Okay.
It will be
Mm-hmm.
very risky, right? So 50 kg is still manageable. 50 kg weight is still manageable. But imagine 150 kg. It's almost like you are dropping a missile kind of thing. So it's very dangerous. So they have limited to 50 kg as of now. They wanted currently medium category, medium class drones to be tested for supply, like parcel delivery or Amazon delivery or your pizza delivery kind of environment. That's why they have limited to 50 kg. 150 kg means almost one person is sitting on the drone and flying. Something could be like
Mm-hmm.
that. Or it's very. I mean, what is the purpose of 150 kg? Maybe higher capacity of supplies.
Mm-hmm.
Medical deliveries, whatever happening, or even this Amazon delivery or any Flipkart delivery, all that happening, or pizza delivery, they may be within 50 kg only. That will not be big. So they wanted to initially set up the ecosystem with a small weight capacity, and then eventually they will upgrade to maybe 100 kg, and then maybe go to 150 kg.
Okay.
If you go
Okay.
beyond 150 kg, definitely it will go into the large category, or large class.
The large class won't be changing. That is 150 itself.
Yes, yes, it will be 150 and above, up to 500 kg. If you are crossing 500 kg, what it will be?
It's
It
an
will not.
aircraft.
It will is the aircraft. It will not follow the drone rules 2021. It will follow 1937 aircraft rules.
Act.
Correct. So again, classification by range and altitude. This is, as I said, other countries who follow different terminologies. So like hummingbird, this is VTOL. Okay, or predator. This is the drone what India is purchased from US. Predator drone. Okay, then Skystar hybrid, again this is VTOL. Then Global Hawk, okay, again this is aircraft or aeroplane. Or this MD4, this is again a rotorcraft. So different classification, different locations or regions follow different names. As of now, we do not have to worry about this because nobody is going to ask you about this. This type of drones are not allowed as of now for a civilians to fly. Like you can't purchase a Predator drone and fly. Right? This is more from Army, Navy, those people. The drone cost itself is in crores. So normal people will not able to. I mean, these can be owned by Adani or government officials only. So don't worry much about this classification of it. Most important is us for us is only whatever is this classification and this category. Category, subcategory, and the classification of this. This is the most important part of your drone rules 2021 to begin. Okay. Again, the same thing like you see by again this is not for us. This is FAA. So don't worry about this document. This is more from those drones what we have seen earlier here. Okay. So for example, if you see Predator, okay, so it could be medium altitude or high altitude already. So what is the range and all that is the Calorian, okay, or Predator. It falls into the medium altitude long endurance. That's what the definition of Mark. Okay, or HAL is high altitude long endurance. So it's almost ranges 2,000 kilometers. altitude is 20,000. So this, as of now, is not covered under drone rules 2021 because we are limited by certain cap of altitude also. We cannot fly our drone beyond 400 meters. That's the highest capacity what we have in a green zone. So these drones are not applicable for us. Okay. Like only first micro or mini you see here, it is 300 meters, but whereas all other like 3,000 meters, 20,000 meters, 6,000 meters, these are not applicable to us.
So we are allowed only 400 meters or 400 feet?
400 feet, sorry, 400 feet. Okay. So again, the classification based on FF. See, these are certain things where just for reference purpose you have interpreted so that you are know the larger aspect of the drones. Okay. Very small, mini. So this was the terminology what US used. Okay. Very small, mini, medium, and large. Whereas we have five class. They have only four classes. Okay. So very small means very small, toy type of it. Then you have a small category. Then you have medium category. And then you have a large. Like rated drones maybe fall under medium or large category, depending upon the weight or the reconnaissance size. Like medium is limited only up to 200 gauge, whereas military combat large drones they are like size is again depends upon the size. Here our drones are not being categorized based on the size. It's purely very simple. Indian drone rules 2021 is very simple. They are only following weight. This your drone can be big, but still it is within 25 kg. You can have a small drone, but still it can fall in 25 kg. It is a small drone, something. Okay, so it is not defined by the size. It is only purely simple follow methodology they are following is the weight because that is the most important criteria when you are flying the drone. Size doesn't matter or anything other matter. It's the weight which is important because you are counter interacting with gravity and flying your drone. Now, type certification. As we talk about type certification, as I said, on digital sky there are different forms. So there are total five forms. Form number one or D1, what we call it, is for registering your drone or getting your drone as a type certified. Okay, this is if you are manufacturing drone, this form comes into the picture. So no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft in India unless such unmanned aircraft system conforms to a type certificate or exempted from the requirement of type certificate under. That means what? You are not supposed to fly your DJI because DJI drone is not a type certified. But as of now, Indian government, since we want people to adopt the drones and the technology around it, still government has not made very strict rules on it. They are allowing you to fly, okay, for certain purposes, not for like if you go for a flying in a government project, they will ask you simply you need to own a type certificate. Like for example, I want to fly a drone for drone Didi scheme or for a Samvita scheme. All those different government schemes where you get a project. Like Pranay might get a project in his village to do a surveillance of his village completely or nearby villages under Samvita scheme. Okay, but he cannot use his what is this DPI. They may ask him that you need to mandatory use a type certified, from that person. So he,
हॅलो सर.
hmm,
मी काय म्हणतोय म्हणजे जर मला जर सर्व्हेलन्स करायचा आहे तर माझ्याकडे DJI सर्टिफाईड DJI म्हणतोय DGCI सर्टिफाईड ड्रोनच लागेल त्या ह्याच्यासाठी.
type certified. DGI type certified. I will show you what you
तिथे
mean.
मी DJI चा ड्रोन वापरू नाही शकत.
Nice. Okay. So let me show you the type certified drones. I'm going back to digital sky. इकडे बघा US models. Okay. You see what is the count? Total count? 96.
96.
96. I said 94 earlier, no, but now it is 96. Okay. So these are the drones. If you see, this is the company, first company which released the drone or made the type certified IoTech. So we are using during the training we are using this drone only, IoTech AgriBot. Okay, we have this first drone AgriBot drone A5, and also we have their latest A6. Recently, last 1 or 2 months they have upgraded themselves to medium. These are small. Okay, this is small. You see, class small, agribot small. Okay, so we are using agribot small class drones. Agribot. This is A5 and we have A6. Recently, they have come up with a new model from a medium category. It is called MX. Okay, so we are using the company which has made the first agriculture drone in India. Iotech. They are the company which actually manufactures the drones and they sells the drones for farmers. You see then CBA. They have see here. Now again you see the weight. Okay, the first drone almost touching 25 kg, but still it is less by 10. This thing you still follow under the small class. Moment I cross or touch 25, it will become medium. Okay. Whereas if you see the second drone, CBAI technology, this is from Hyderabad. They have a model called Model B. Maximum RPTOs, those people who are training, the people for a pilot, they use this. But this is a very small drone. It's like a phantom drone, DJI Phantom. So it is a training drone. You will not get real experience of flying. Whereas we are using AgriBot, you are getting real industry experience when you are flying that. You are flying actually the quality of industry class drone. This is a training drone. Model B is a training drone. That's why you see the weight. This is 5 kg. Very small toy truck drone or phantom drone, I would say. Okay, then there is some company called Asteria Aerospace. This is nothing but this is a system concern of Reliance. Okay, then you see different like Daksh. Now here see Daksh is 47 kg, still within 50 kg limit. What is the class? It is showing
Medium.
medium because 47 about 25 kg. Okay, or you see any other Krishak or any other. Now here CD Aerobatics, Robotics Private Limited. Their drone weight is 2.7. Okay, small. This might be a drone used for surveillance, or maybe just a small camera for certain purpose. You see some drone tech. Okay, different companies have this activity to make your drone getting it type certified. Getting your own drone type certified, you need at least 35 to 40 lakhs.
आवाज जातोय सर तुमचा.
To get your drone type certified, you need at least 35 to 40 lakhs and a time of 3 months to 6 months to get your drone certified as a type certified. So let's see what is the latest drone which is certified. 96. 96 is been certified by a company called Karman Drones Private Limited. The name of the drone is Pratham. The class of drone is small and category, the weight is 2.5, 2.5 or 2.55. That's it. And if you see the last line, last column, what is it? How high it can
Maximum
fly?
height.
Maximum. You see, nobody is above 400. That's what is the limit. 400 feet. So 328. You see this medium, 164 feet, okay? 398 feet. Paras. Because you don't need to fly that high also. Agriculture don't you don't need to fly that much high. Because the more you higher the fly, the more power it will take. So again, that is also concern, the endurance capacity, what we call. If you see Skylink Aero, Airavat, okay, it was recently given type certificate. It's 24.40. Whereas if you see this medium category, 30 kg, because it's cross 25 kg. Again, some medium, small. Then you see MX, model M, 5 kg. So if there is simple, if drone is about 20 kg, it might be an agriculture drone. If drone is within 5 kg limit, it might be used for monitoring, surveillance, or small purposes, small activity purposes. Okay, so you can see there are total 96 companies, not 96 companies, I said 96 type of drones which are type certified. Either it is in, and then you see they are only certified in only two class, small and medium. So there is some only in micro. This is only because you see the weight is 2 kg. This is very only I think only my Nibras is there. Okay, this is Bangalore based company which actually made the drone and then again here micro less than 2 kg. There are only a couple of them. You will not see, but maximum they are from small and medium. The third one again. See, 1.7. These are only very small drones which have been developed for purpose of surveillance or monitoring. Like they might be having a camera and they are just taking pictures, or they may be doing mapping kind of activity, GIS activity. So one is Ajit Mini, then you have Plus, and there was one more Atlas. So there are total three type certified drones which are in micro category. Rest are all are small and medium. Even medium you don't have much. You have, if you see 96, 60% will be fall under small. Okay? Rest 60 or 70% will fall under small. In a very recent times, people have started, developing medium drones. Initially, couple of companies started, like General Aeronautics was having that drone in medium category. Then you have Thanos. So these are some, more or less, these are from agriculture. Maximum, again, I said from this 96 list, maximum drones are developed for agriculture. Some are being developed for surveillance purposes, or one or two are for only from training purpose. Like first drone, what I showed you from Crystal Ball. This is purely training purpose. So if it is less than 5 kg, either it is for surveillance, it could be training, or a small purposes only. If it is more than 10 kg, 20 kg, definitely for agriculture. Other. But there are lots of there already, like, so you are seeing 94. I,
Couldn't hear you properly.
yeah, I'm saying 94 drones, 96 drones are type certified now, but there are at least 300 applications which are there with DGCA as of now, which are yet to be certified. Okay, when like 1 year back, this list was almost like 30 only, 30, 35 only. Now we have come to 96. So almost two-thirds drones have been increased now. Okay, as a type certified. So now you see it, but like if you want to see how many UINs, I mean how many drones are actually registered, you see here the number
Okay.
29,600 drones are registered with BBC. So this is all the list, all the drones, micro, small, nano, even nano drone needs to be registered. Okay, so there is a different form for registering your drone. Okay, so if you see, go here on the first page. Okay, you will see here apply for. What is your purpose on this thing? For type certification, your form is D1. For getting your UIN number for your drone is D2. Okay, for change, or even for model or nano, micro or nano US, again there is a separate form D2. If you want to transfer, like I am a manufacturer of a drone, I want to give it to Jagan. I mean, he's purchased a drone from me, or I want to transfer that, or even sometimes I may lease it for him for 1 year. So at the point in time, I can do a temporary transfer the drone on his name. Okay, so I need to fill a form called D3, transfer of a unmanned aircraft system, D3. Okay, for remote pilot certificate. Tomorrow you will become a pilot, so I have to make an application behalf of you. So I have to fill a form D4. Okay? If I want to establish myself as a training organization, so I have to fill a form D5. So there are only 5 forms. So if somebody asks you what is the purpose of D4 form, you should know what is the purpose of D4 form. What is the purpose of D1 form? What is the purpose of D2? As a pilot, you should know these 5 forms. Okay, so D1 is for type certification, D2 is for UIN, D3 is for transfer, D4 is for RPC, and D5 is for RPC. Okay, so we are talking about D1 form. The D1 form is for this. I will share this D1 form also to you. You can go through it. What is the components and everything we can discuss. We'll see it in our session number on day 3, when we are talking about drones. How I want to type certified my drone. So what are things components? What are the information required for my drone to be a type certified? So what information I need to provide to DGC? All that things we'll see in detail in our session number or day 3, when we are at practical system. Then this is the procedure. Like as I said, 60 days, as it is general within 60 days of the receipt of your application, they will respond and then they will set it. And then another 15 days DPC will take. So, but this 60 days, there might be a lot of rejections, lot of things. So when there is a rejection or there is a NCT raised against your clock stops there. So it is not actually a 60 days, it could take 90 days or it may take 120 days. Unless you don't, if you have everything proper of your drone, documentation and all your test results, you can get your drone certified within 75 days. 50 days over here and 15 days total, 75 days, your drone will get type certified. But
So
no,
do can I interrupt?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, do the DGs, I mean DGCA maintain any formats of testing templates? I mean, this is what you have to test, kind
Yeah,
of that.
so that we'll see when we see in the maintenance topic. I will talk more about it. That
Okay,
is how
okay,
we
okay,
call QCI. Okay, if you
okay.
see on the digital sky, okay, if you scroll down, you have something called certification scheme for drone 2020. So if you click open this, it will open a new website. Okay, a new document. It's almost 220 pages. Okay,
Okay.
so half of them are in Hindi. It follows.
Can't hear you.
Again, again. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
So you see category, subcategory, and then the class. It's the same as per the drone rules 2021. Okay, type certificate is not required for model, remotely pilot aircraft, and nano. This is again from drone rules 2021. Okay, so these two doesn't require type certification because these are the drones you are using it for fun or flying for just recreational activities purpose. If you go down again, it has a similar standard, I would say. Okay? Like where it is applicable and who is governing this document actually. If you see, this has been governed by QCI. Okay, so DGC has nominated QCI, the Quality Control of India, to govern the type certificate. So there is a separate body which does all the analysis of your drone. So when you are going for a type certification of your drone, you need to submit all your test results, all your reports, all your documentation to them along with 3 drones. So they will test it in different scenarios, in a heat condition, in a cold condition. Like if you say your drone is capable or landing gear of your drone is capable of 500 landings, they will test it by landing it 500 times and see whether your drone is actually really what you are defining is capable of. Whatever you are defining in your propeller, motors, your flight controllers, everything will they will test it out. Okay. So if you see there is a definition, scope, all that things are there. Okay. Who is I mean here if you see quality control of India, then multi-stakeholder steering committee. They have this all sub-organization within themselves and how they are. So what they are doing these are just a certain part. Let's go to what they do test. Okay? I'll go more deeper later, but if you see general
Sure, sure.
classification, okay, then type, how you're launching, recovery mechanism, dimension, all that comes into the picture. The airframe, engine, battery, propeller, motor, maximum permissible landing. What I gave the example. So if you say my drone is capable of 500 landings, they will test it out actually by landing it 500 times. Okay, so that they will do it. Or payload, type of different payloads, compatible payload, performance, speed, whatever you are defining. All this, whatever is defined in this document, you need, like how your drone is powered, engine operated and battery operated, battery operated.
सर
Hmm.
प्रश्न होता आहे की माझ्याकडे जर किती 25 किलोच्या आतला ड्रोन आहे स्मॉल मध्ये,
Okay,
तर त्याच्यावरती मी किती किलो पर्यंत पेलोड लावू शकतो
25 किलोचा आहे तर 25 किलोच्या आतच. You can
आतच?
go beyond. See, it is a maximum take off all of weight. All of it means including your payload. You cannot cross 25 kg. If you have a
मग
drone,
आता
it is certified for 25 kg. All of its weight should be within 25 kg.
म्हणजे आता आपण जो ड्रोन पाहिला तो जो 25.90 केजीचा होता. बरोबर म्हणजे तो
1.9. So this
हा
is
हा
including your water tank. Filled water tank, huh? Filled water tank, not empty again. Filled water tank. You cannot exceed, see, all of it, maximum all of it. You see the definition in kg. Your drone
हा हा
cannot go beyond this number. The moment you
याच्यावर
cross your drone, मी जेव्हा empty ठेवतो, when my tank is empty, it will be
हा
not 24 kg. It will be somewhere, let's say, 16 kg, or it may be 12 kg, or it may be 10 kg. That's okay, but I cannot cross this higher limit.
ओके आणि आणि मी आता हा स्मॉल मध्ये आहे मॉडेल व्ही तो 5.43 केजीचा आहे बरोबर.
Correct.
मग त्यामध्ये मी पेलोड किती करू शकतो.
You cannot cross 5.43.
त्याच्यामध्ये जाऊ शकत नाही आपण.
त्याच्यामध्ये पण नाही, you cannot cross 5. See, whatever is defined here, all of it is certified for this weight. So
ओके ओके ओके
we have, when this drone, if I show you this drone, let me see.
हा.
This drone is not actually a training drone. This is not actually a training drone. This is actually a drone for surveillance.
सर्वेलन्स ओके ओके ओके
Drone is actually for surveillance. Business content drone designed to save first type certified mapping drone actually.
मॅपिंग ड्रोन
A lot
आहे
of people, what they do, they just remove the camera. This
बरोबर.
will cost you almost 5 lakh rupees. 5.5 lakh rupees. Okay. So lot of people, what they do is they just remove the camera and they use it for training purpose. Whereas
ओके म्हणजे
what we
जे
have purchased, the drone what we have purchased, the AgriBot drone, it cost us 8.5 lakhs. And then other accessories, additional flight controllers, additional remote controls, additional batteries, that cost you around almost 2 lakh rupees. Spare propellers, some spares also you need to keep when you are doing this. Okay, so that almost 2 lakhs. So if you want to purchase, you want to set up a, as I said, RPT also, there is almost a cost of 50 lakhs, right from land to the drones to the infrastructure. A lot of things are goes into that. I mean, drone itself, you need minimum 2 drones in your RPTO. So 10 lakh rupees for each drone, 20 lakhs to आपका उधर ही expense होगा, basic.
बरोबर.
Okay, then the land minimum you required 1 acre land. 1 acre land will cost you almost, like in India anywhere in a agricultural location, it will cost you around 50 lakhs to 90 lakhs. 1 acre. 1 acre is a huge land, right? Almost 40,000 square feet of area. So it almost cost you around 50 lakhs. Even you consider, like 1 acre is 40 guntas. So if you consider 2 lakh rupees per gunta minimum in India anywhere you take it, it will be almost like 40 into 2 is 80 lakhs rupees. Correct, na Pranay?
हा हा
Right. So that's how it is.
मला अजून एक म्हणायचं आहे की मिस्टर जगन आहेत तर ते हेच काम करत होते ना याआधी की म्हणजे सर्वेलन्स साठी किंवा ते मॅपिंग करण्यासाठी.
So what is the question?
नाही नाही मला आता आठवलं मगाच क्लिक झालं की हा ड्रोन जो आहे तो ते यूज करत होते त्यावेळेस.
Want to do something?
ऑडिओ येत नाही तुमचा.
I'm saying you can use this drone for surveillance purposes. See, it has 20
येस येस
megapixel camera. This is also a very stable drone. Huh? I have flown this drone multiple times. Or
अच्छा.
I have also crashed this drone once.
Do we have
A mistake with, I mean, we were flying the drone in a region, okay, and I was flying as a co-pilot, and there was a master pilot. So actually, master pilot was flying, and then he transferred the controls to me. I was flying it, and I was supposed to take a turn. And when I took the turn, it flown, and it was supposed to take again a turn. But that turn signal, it could not, somehow that communication loss was there. C2 link loss was there. So, when we are doing a practicals, I'll tell you, when we are doing the practicals, we you must have seen when in a movie, when the pilot and co-pilot are flying, whatever actions they are doing, whatever decision they are taking, they have to say it. Okay, so for example, I'm flying forward, I'm going left, I'm going right, turning right, all this. So I said turning right, but that drone didn't turn right. So it came straight. It didn't take my command. I am just to make sure my pilot or my master pilot knows what action I'm doing. He also aware. So he tried to took the control, but that point in time, even his remote control was not able to control the drone. He took the control back, but it could not control the drone. वो सीधा झाड़ पे जाके अटक गया. There was no damage or any such, but it just got stuck and stopped. That was the thing what I told. So sometimes this happens. So we have to be careful when we are doing. When we are training also drone, I'll tell you. When we are flying the drone, I'll tell you how to communicate, how to tell other person so that people are aware what you are doing, and you also become sensible. If you are doing something wrong, your co-pilot or your master instructor will tell, नहीं आपको right नहीं लेना है, left लेना है, वो आगे नहीं जाना है, or you stop some location. You are not flying properly, or your altitude is not proper, because even in his control, he will know what is happening. Okay, so he will tell. Or sometimes you are seeing the drone, you do not know what is the voltage of your battery. Okay, so that's why we always say that we always have a buddy. If buddy is not there, your master instructor responsibility is to be your buddy. That's how you fly the drone. Okay.
So, Mangesh,
Hmm.
so we'll take example of if Pranay is doing a video photography, wedding photography. So, do he has any option of a drones in India that is type certified?
So this is what I said. Model B. If you want to use it for photography or some mapping activities or anything, these are there. I mean, if you see on the digital sky, we need to see what category the drones are there. Like if you see in this list, this small category, less than 5 kg, there might be more or less drones which are primarily for uh, photography activities. The drones which are less weight capacity, like within 5 kg, they are mostly designed for surveillance, monitoring, or photography kind of activity. That's why you see Asteria. You see, Asteria is again a sister company of Reliance. They have a drone developed for primarily for monitoring of telecommunication. The small drones.
Okay.
This is the mostly used drone. This has a small quadcopter, 2 GPS, and a camera. 26 megapixel camera is Sony camera. See, this is also similar to that crystal ball model V. Okay, so this drone is primarily used for taking photographs of telecom towers.
Okay.
Or even the mapping, the land mapping you can do through that. Because that camera is, I think there is here, there are the cameras. It is interchangeable payloads. You can load daytime camera, you can load infrared cameras, you can load RGB cameras, you can load multispectral cameras. So they have a different purpose for this cameras. So they have a standard mechanism to fit the payloads. But still, this if you see this XT, okay, XT, what is the this thing? I think this was recently. See, now it is not listed here.
Okay.
That means this is not a type certified drone.
These drones are not economical, right?
Okay.
So in that
It
case,
is. It is. No. It is type certified. Okay. Sometimes drones are there with the vendors, but sometimes they are not certified.
okay, okay.
Some people just do it. Like for example, the example what we talk about, Sarivan, okay, the
Mm-hmm.
Bangalore-based company. It was just recently. Nibras. Nibras. Can you see Nibras anywhere? Yeah. See this Sarivan V1. Okay, this is in a micro category. This drone initially was not a type certified. For almost 2 years, this company was using this Sarivan V1 drone for various projects, but they could not use this drone for their government projects.
Okay.
But they faced a lot of challenges. They could not take government projects. Then they got this certified as a type certificate. Okay. Similarly, if you see this area aerospace, A200 XT drone. Initially, they had the first drone was 200, and then they had this drone was a standard drone. You see here now it is not listed here. Okay, so early 200 and 200 XT is almost similar, but XT has extended capabilities. That means you can change your payloads, interchange your payloads. Earlier, it was only the 200 was only having uh, this camera, RGB camera. Okay, it was not having even the gimbal. Whereas if you see these drones had come with gimbals. So this extended capability they have added. You can have different angles of photos to be taken because when you're flying for monitoring a telecom tower, you need to take in certain angles also. You need to different angles because every time when you are photographing a tower, the sunlight is light is changing. So with respect to the angle, with respect to the location, you need to change the position of your camera. So it captures maximum information. That's why the gimbal comes into the picture. Or you can have a static camera also. But in static, you have to manage the drone accordingly. So rather putting a load on the drone, you put a gimbal. So drone will be always stable and you can adjust the angle of your camera rather changing the angle of the drone. Because if you're changing the angle of a drone, you are putting a pressure on the propellers. That means you are utilizing the battery more. So that way you are losing your endurance capacity of drone. So simple way is to put the drone in a stable flight mode, in a stable hovering condition, and then adjust using the gimbal. You adjust because gimbal will not take more power. Gimbal motors are very small motors, less power consumption motors, and it has to only set on one particular load. Gimbal is like it's like a gyroscope actually, so it will not affect your weight or it will not put load or it will not override your power consumptions. So that's how the gimbal comes into the picture. So when we talk about payload topic, we'll talk more about it that point in time. Okay. So again, application this will see more in detail. So over the period of 5 days, as we talk more about it, a lot of things, we keep on repeating, and more information will come to you, as you learn. Okay, then acceptance, import, like acceptance and approvals given by foreign regulators. Like there are a lot of companies like Israel has set up office in New Delhi and they wanted, for foreign regulators or foreign people who want to operate their drones in India. So they need to set up, they need to certify their drones within India as per the drone rules and 2021 and all that. There might be company from like Predator drones we are going to apply. So, they need to follow certain because Predator drones are not simply flown by Indian people. There would be some people would be coming from US who will be there for with us for 6 months or 1 year, along with the Indian government or in military or navy people. They will be operating, helping our team to understand. So initially there will be some MOU will be signed or some company would be formed within India and they will be operating and providing support to us. Okay. Again, the import. If you are importing any kind of aircraft, it will be regulated by Director General of Foreign Trade. Okay, DGFT. Okay, and they will only certify your drones. Exemption for obtaining type certification. This is very important. Where you don't require your type certified drone. One is a model remote pilot aircraft system and nano unmanned aircraft system. So this is the two types of uh, US where you don't require a type certificate. That means your nano drone, like you have a DJI, right? I think what is that? Flip or DJI uh,
Me,
DJ Mini.
Neo, which is below 250. Anything below 250 kg is nano.
Hmm.
So you don't require that drone to be a type certified.
But that should not be used for a commercial, right?
You cannot use it for commercial. This is only for this. See, that's why it's a model remotely aircraft. This is not commercial. This is you're flying for fun. You're flying for yourself. Okay, you're not doing any commercial activity. That's why all these aero modeler can come under this category. Model airpass, model remotely piloted aircraft. They don't need their aircraft to be, even that aircraft may be um, sometimes they are very high capacity, high value, high but as far it comes under model, I mean it may not be following 250 category or 2 kg, it may be higher, it could be more than 25 kg also, but since it is a model, it will follow the exemption rule. Now the safety feature, like these were some initially put, central government may in future. I mean, as of now, these are not. Apart from geofencing capability, these tools are still not in function. Initially, they started with NPNT. This is no permission, no takeoff for hardware and firmware things. And then there is something called real-time tracking beacon. This is what we talk about ADSB. Okay, this is not been come into the picture or not been implemented as of now, but these were proposed safety features. Okay, this will come into the picture when BVLS come into the picture. As of now, all the drones are following only geofencing capability. Okay, only geofencing. Make sure that whenever we are flying a drone, we set up the geofencing. Okay, again, that example which I gave you about the crash of my drone, there was another mistake what we did as a pilot and co-pilot, we didn't set up the geofencing, or even geofencing didn't work that point in time. So it should have not crossed
hello.
three.
Sorry, sir. जिओ फेन्सिंग म्हणजे मला थोडं एक्सप्लेन कराल का?
I'll explain. So geofencing means, let's say you are flying a drone in a certain area. Okay, let's say it's a 1 acre land. You know this is the
Okay.
place where I need to play. So you will, in a software in your remote control, you will set up the boundaries. You will set up the boundary. So even if you give a throttle to your drone to cross that boundary, the drone will not cross it. Automatically, your geofencing restrictions will come into the picture, and your drone will land there, or whatever the settings you have done it. It may land at that point in time, or it will land from the launch position. So that's why you're using. Like for example, when you are flying an agriculture drone in a field, you don't want to your drone to go into another person's field or another location or another side or something. Like you may have, let's say there are a lot of things into geofencing. Not only the boundary settings, but there are a lot of things like you can set up the obstacles in a field. Let's say in a farm, you might have a tree. In a farm, you might have a well, because when there is a well, the well is below the ground level, right? So that time your GPS and your barometric pressure will take a different settings. वो पानी में गिर सकता है, well में गिर जाएगा, because it will change its altitude, right? Because well water is down, it is not always at the level. So it may not able to generate the height of the drone. So you have to set up in your geofencing, you have to set up something called obstacles or tree के बाजू में नहीं, or sometimes in a farm also power line tower is there. So you don't want your drone to go near to that tower. So you set up this feature in geofencing. You know, you call it as a waypoint settings, or you call it as a obstacle settings, all that things. Okay. तो ये हम लोग practicals के time पे देखेंगे, जो remote control when we have in our hand, we will see how these settings are there, or how do we change these parameters.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Now, as I said, you have a drone. As a manufacturer, you have a drone. So no person shall operate an unmanned aircraft system without a unique number. So whatever drones you may have your own drone. You know, DJI drone. Even you have a DJI drone, you get it registered on the Digital Sky platform. It's just a simple. You need to fill your D2 form and pay 100 rupees. That's it. Your drone will get a UIN number, and then put that UIN number on your drone. so that wherever you are flying your drone, suppose you are doing some project, aerial photography, wedding photography, nobody will come and question you. You are a certified pilot, you are owning a drone which is registered on Digital Sky platform, so nobody will question you. If even he questions you, you can show this, my drone is registered on Digital Sky platform, I am a registered pilot. So nobody will have it. If they have a concern, they will ask you, they will tell you, or they will tell what is what and all that thing. But you still have in a commanding position over there. But that doesn't mean that you are a certified pilot, your drone is registered, you can fly anywhere. So you need to follow certain rules and regulations of the location or the region or the property or the people. Okay. The registration record shall be maintained by DGC. So on the, you've seen, right, a lot of people who have registered the drones, they have you go here, issued UIN numbers. You will see a lot of DJI drones over here. See, Mavic Mini, Mini 2, Mini 2, Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic Air. Okay, this is very old. First list is very old. So let's go to the last 592 page, which will be very latest. See, 30th June, DJI Neo. Abhi Neo launch hua tha, right? So a lot of people have registered their DJI Neo. So this is, you are taking just a UI number. So this is UIN number. So it's a 12-digit number. Okay. Every drone will have its own unique number. It's like your car registration. You are registering your drone. Okay. See, DJI Phantom, DJI Mini Pro, and DJI Phantom, Phantom Pro, right? 2 kg. See, is it model? No. Whereas somebody has some model drone, right? So based on what it is. Sometimes people have made mistake also. Like DJI drone cannot become a model drone. Actually, they got that. Okay. Whereas if you see here something, somebody has made some, I don't know what is this exactly. Some number they have given. It's a micro category, but it's a model they have certified. Somebody might have made. Even you can register your model aircraft over here. Okay. Under micro category or mini category. Even small, you see Q6V2 Idea Forge. This is also one of the company which, this is the first company I would say to become an IPO. Idea Forge. I hope you must have seen a movie called Three Idiots.
हाँ हाँ
That the drone which was flown by actor Amir Khan, it was made by Idea Forge. So there were three IIT students, Bombay IIT students, who had made that drone, and over the period they have formed a company in 2000, I think 11 or 12. They formed the company as Idea Forge, and right now they are very forefront in India, flying the drones for defense and surveillance monitoring kind of thing. So they are predominantly more into defense and for the surveillance activities. Okay. So registration, sale, and registration. Like for example, I have taken a drone from IoTech. So IoTech has manufactured a drone, so they have done the type certified. When they manufacture the drone, they have tested the drone and everything. They have done the UIN number. They have taken the UIN number. So now initially they were the owner. IoTech was the owner of that drone. I purchased that drone from them. So now who is the legally owner for that drone? It's Bombay Flying Club. So they need to transfer that drone. So they need to transfer that drone to us. Suppose uh, my drone is unoperational. Okay. One is sale. They have transferred. They have to transfer that drone to me. One is unoperational due to some reason, maybe malfunction हो गया, crash हो गया, टूट गया, फूट गया, and I do not want to, uh, have that drone registered. So I have to do these registration. Like how do we, when after 15 years of driving the car, we want to scrap the car. So we tell to our RTO that my car is getting scrapped, and also you submit the documents and you get your car scrapped through a legal scrap vendor. You get a benefit when you're purchasing a new car. You get benefit that I think 1.5 or 2 lakh rupees rebate, you get it through that. So same thing in drone also, you need to deregister your drone also. So this is all with respect to your D2 forms, okay, registration and all that. D3 is for transfer. So I have to fill D3 form when I am transferring. I'm getting my drone transferred from IoTech to Bombay Flying Club, or from Bombay Flying Club if I'm giving that drone to somebody else for some other purpose. Like tomorrow I may start a leasing company and I may lease a drone to Jagan for 1 year. So that time I'll do a transfer, temporary transfer. Once Jagan completes his 1 year, he may transfer it back to my name. Okay, so like that you can transfer the drones from one person to another person.
So if that is the case, if I'm buying a drone from you, so the D3 form has to be filled by me, right? So I'm the buyer.
You are the buyer. You are not. You will not transfer. You are end user now. Then. So when I purchase the drone from IoTech, IoTech does the D3 form.
So you do D3, I do D2.
No.
I have to register it my
No,
name.
no, you don't need to register because I am manufacturer.
Okay.
I will register the drone first.
Okay.
You purchase the drone from me. I will do D3. Now you are the owner as of now. Okay, temporary for 1 year you are the owner. But again you outsource that activity to some other pilot or some small organization.
Okay.
That point in time you do the D3 for him because you are the owner at that point in time. When everything over, you want to surrender that drone back to me. So first your pilot will do the D3 to you, and then you will do D3.
Okay.
म्हणजे ही प्रोसेस चालूच राहणार की म्हणजे आता मी तुमच्याकडनं घेतोय ड्रोन, तर तुम्हीच मला रजिस्टर करून देणार, मी तो करणार नाही.
मैं तुमको बेचने से पहले I have to certify that drone, right? So that drone has to have a UIN number. So I will have D2 form first. मैं पहले ड्रोन को रजिस्टर करूंगा. So I become the owner of that drone, and now I am transferring that drone to you, or I'm giving that drone to you. So I do D3 to you. You may give
D2. D2 is for first time you are getting an UID.
UIN.
So after that, whatever the transfer goes on between, that will be for a D3 only.
Correct.
Okay.
So again, this is what. So what is UIN? Unique Identification Number is a license plate on an unmanned aircraft. Nano drones are exempted from it. So nano drone आपको नहीं चाहिए, right? For UIN number. But आप कर सकते हो. Okay, nano drones का भी UIN number ले सकते हो. आप लेना चाहते हो तो you can take it. But they are exempted, not necessary. And UIN must be affixed on UIS in identifiable and visible manner. देखो पिक्चर में फैंटम ड्रोन पे लगाया है. कुछ भी स्टिकर लगाओ. टाइप सर्टिफाइड पे they have a metal plate. Okay, there is a type certified drone पे जब आप UIN number लगाते हो ना, there is a regulations for that. Citizen of India, central government, state government, Indian companies, directors, foreign entities using unmanned aircraft to above. So all the drones which are getting registered on Digital Sky platform, they should have a UIN number. Who can have a citizen of India like you and me, air government entities like, for example, Mahavitaran, Tata Power, or Reliance, or Adani, they also purchase drone for different purposes. जिनके power line towers होते हैं, उनको monitoring करने के लिए they need drone. Okay, so when they are taking a drone, that drone needs to be registered. Now this is D2. This is for your UIN. Okay, जो पहला था D1 था for registration, type certification drone. D2 is for UIN. Make an application, Digital Sky platform, fee as specified, rule number 46. Details will verify the details, and then they will give you UIN copy. UIS shall be linked to unique, because important is जो UIN number जो होता है ना, वो आपका flight controller है और जो मॉडल का सीरियल नंबर है उसके साथ लिंक रहता है. So tomorrow if you want to change the flight controller, you have to completely deregister and register your drone back again. Okay, and you have to give a purpose why you are replacing the flight controller. Ideally you should not, because then nothing happens. There is no fault into flight controller as such any given point until it's crash हो गया, टूट गया, faulty हो गया, something, then only you would be changing your flight controller. So that point in time you have to deregister your drone and register it back again fresh. You follow the same process again. Okay, no person shall replace a flight control module or remote pilot. Even your remote control is linked to your UIN number. That's all that details you need to give in your details. No person shall replace the flight control module.
So to register a drone, do I need to have a remote pilot license?
To register a drone, you don't require remote pilot.
Okay.
So you just imagine, na? Imagine. See, why I'm making that statement, I'll tell you. Here, how many drones are there?
29601.
That is 29,601. Okay. How many pilots are there? Certified pilots.
Okay.
Certified pilots. Pilots who are having licenses. So 1,000 drones are registered, but there are only 12,000 pilots. If there are supposed to be pilots, type certified, that means there are. See, this is the gap. This many drones are there. These many drones are flying. So the number of people who are flying are less, or certified people who are eligible to fly the drones are less. Almost less than 50%. That gap is there. So few people are flying. Like Pranay. Pranay is already flying the drone. Or even you Jagan, you are be flying drone. But tomorrow you will add up to this. So this number, as of now, what Indian government looks is somewhere around 1 lakh. We need 1 lakh pilots in India by 2026. So we are still only 12,000 pilots. And out of this, there are pilots who are not, they have done part certification, but they are not really flying. I mean, I will talk about, there are only 6,000 pilots, real 6,000 pilots who are flying the drones, or less than that also. So a lot of people have just done the certification, but they are not doing it.
Okay.
Some have just done it for some, like, just simple. So see, again, I say no person shall fly, shall replace the flight controller, blah blah, unmanned aircraft system, linked to UI. So all these things are there in the drone rules. You read the drone rules. Okay. Tomorrow, before we begin our first session, we'll go through the actual drone rule document. Again, transfer, deregistration, we talk about D3 form. Okay. Now, this is the important slide. It's the most important slide. This slide you need to have it in your mind any given point in time when you are flying a drone. The operations of drone. Your operations. This is your airport. Okay, within the airport, the boundary, this blue line, what you see here, is the boundary of the airport. Okay, from the boundary of the airport or aerodrome, till 5 kilometer of range, okay, is your red zone, high security area or a red zone. Okay, even some places, not necessarily the airport, but any high security area. Like let's say, take example of Parliament. Parliament falls under red zone. Okay, so that within, even not only that Parliament as a body or entity or a building, within the range of that Parliament of 5 kilometers is a red zone. So you cannot fly a drone in this zone. Okay, then you have after 5 kilometers up to 3 kilometers. That means up to 8 kilometers, okay, from the boundary of that area. So from 5 kilometers to 3 kilometers is inner yellow zone, and then beyond that. So if you see this 7 kilometer of range, or what we call it as 12 kilometers from the boundary of the airport or the building, is your yellow zone. Okay, so within, from 5 kilometers to 3 kilometers is your 200 feet you can fly.
Okay.
Beyond 7 kilometers, sorry, 8 kilometers, 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers, you can fly up to 400. Okay. But beyond 12 kilometers, there actually your green zone starts. Okay, so your green zone is beyond 12 kilometers. You can fly up to 400 feet as a green zone corridor. So beyond you go, see, you may be in green zone. If you're flying above 400, it becomes a yellow zone. Understand this picture is more important. So you can take a screenshot of this, or even this is available on Google. You can just search operations of drones or zones. You will get this picture. This is really easily available. Even our summary sheet, we have this diagram put up into it. So it will be handy or helpful for you.
Sure,
So,
sure.
so if you see again 5 kilometers, you cannot fly. Simply no, no, no. Okay. After 5 kilometers, up to 8 kilometers. From 5 kilometers to 8 kilometers, you can fly only up to 200 feet. But again, in yellow zone, you need to take certain approvals. Okay. Beyond 8 kilometers, up to 12 kilometers, it's still again a yellow zone, but it is called as an outer yellow zone. Here you can fly up to 400 feet. Beyond that, green zone, 400 feet. Above 400 feet, the yellow zone. Okay. But that is again a restricted zone. So the green zone is also a yellow zone when it crosses 400 feet of altitude. That understanding, there a lot of people will get confused in this particular yellow zone and green zone. So you need to understand what is outer yellow zone, that is between 8 kilometers to 12 kilometers. There you have limitation. But when you are going beyond green zone or within a green zone, above 400, you are yellow zone. There you have to follow approvals. You have to take ATC approvals. You have to take approvals from certain bodies. Mandatory free flight verification zonal restrictions. So, for example, whenever you are flying a drone, you should check on a digital sky platform. You have to see the zone categorization, whether it is falling under red zone, yellow zone, or green zone. Requirement of prior permission. No person shall operate unmanned aircraft system in, see here it is, red zone and yellow zone without prior permission. No prior permission shall be required for operating an unmanned aircraft system in a green zone. Means green zone is beyond 12 kilometers and within 400 meters, 400 feet altitude. Within that, there you don't require any permission. But there are certain other restrictions are there. Like वहाँ पे किसी का होटल हो सकता है, किसी का private property हो सकता है. There could be some, some property, something would be there. You need to take permission. Like let's say I am flying in a resort. My resort is in green zone. I cannot fly drone over there without permission of the resort owner who are actually operating the resort.
Can't hear you.
Yeah. So dynamic nature of zoning. The central government may update. That means sometimes, as I said, Pune was temporarily under a complete red zone. During election, certain locations were defined. Like for example, on recent 26 January, the entire Delhi was under red zone for 1 day, or 2 days, or 3 days, or a week. Depending upon how they want to do it. Like yes, no sooner than 7 days. Sometimes central government move put a particular region under a red zone or a yellow zone. But it cannot be more than some timing is there, 96 hours or 48 hours. And then they have to update it prior, 7 days prior. They cannot all of a sudden make any location as a red zone. Until and this, it's a very critical and all that. Okay. So that's what we call as a dynamic nature of zoning. This is what I was talking about, temporary red zone. Okay, so 96 hours. Here, not exceeding period, not exceeding 96 hours at a time. So if, the entire Delhi region where they used to commit the parade and all that march past and all that things happening, president will come, post the flag and all that thing. So those regions are been temporarily put under as a red zone. Some places are permanently red zone, but some places for need they can make it as a red zone. So who can make that as a temporary red zone? Even superintendent of police or his equivalent or an officer endeavor to keep the size of a temporary reasonable and not excessive. We cannot just make any location. There has to be proper justification and particular for a time period. Okay. I will show you on a time where this it is. Scroll down, you will see airspace map. It will show you the map. You can see here. I will remove all the legends. Okay, now you see there is nothing. So let's see now where is airport. Wherever these dots are there, they are all airport red zone. So now let's see where are the red zones. All those zones, like for example, if you see in Mumbai, Mumbai is completely red zone. Now you see here, still your Pune, Kolhapur, Ahmednagar, certain part of Ahmednagar, all these people, these locations are in red zone. But there are certain exemptions given for RPTOs. You still can fly a drone for a training purpose to that particular body or entities, fly the drone for training purpose. But still, it is under red zone. Let's say this is a permanent red zone. However, if there is any temporary red zone, temporary red zone, I don't see anywhere it has been marked. As of now, there is no temporary red zone. Nowhere. Everywhere, wherever they, I think I am seeing somewhere in Bangalore. If I click here, this is from 2nd February till 6th February. I don't know why they have put it, but they have defined this area as a temporary red zone. So after 6th February, this may vanish. So you are, as a pilot, as a certified pilot, you are supposed to see this airspace map before flying. Like for example, let's see our location where we are going to fly our drone. Our place is somewhere here. Increase, slowly I'll increase. Whether there is a red zone location or not. I'll just check. I don't see anywhere the red zone be defined. Or even if I make it red zone also, okay, some place there is a red zone. Okay, this place, some place, somewhere. Like this lake. Some lakes are also been put up as a red zone, huh? I need to see before flying why they have been made. I mean, there might be some work might be going on. So they have made it from 16 March 2020 to 16 March 2025. Okay, so long period they have made it as a red zone in this area. So here, our location is somewhere here. Our location is here, Dharwad DPA. Not a red zone, completely a green zone. This entire location. Correct. We are completely operating in a green zone. See, this complete area is green zone. If I put everything, see Nashik Airport. See, everything is green over here. I remove airport. Here, Nashik Airport gone. One area beyond airport is also defined as a yellow zone. In Bombay, see, Bombay is completely red and yellow. I cannot fly drone any given point in time a drone in Bombay. Or even you see Delhi. Delhi. Completely all the locations, either it is red or yellow. International airport in Indira Gandhi, T2, T3, all are red and yellow. I cannot fly. Fly wherever it's green. In Haryana, location, field areas, or UP, or you go to Bangalore also. Bangalore, this area I cannot fly, but outside Bangalore, like Chikmagalur, Hassan, different, I can fly. I can Trivandrum, okay, or even Goa. Goa is completely under red zone. Even there are places in the sea also which have been defined as there might be rigs where you do the drilling and pull petrol, diesel, oil rigs. Or wherever you have refineries, those will be all like you see Jamnagar. Or you might be having a station called nuclear reactors or some kind of locations. Those locations are also termed as a red zones. You need, as a pilot, you have to make sure that you follow the business sky platform airspace to see whether where you are flying the drone. It's a mandatory as a pilot before making your operations. So if they have made any temporary red zone, they, the people who are making it temporary, they need to intimate the people with region of a temporary zone, 5 kilometer region. Somebody might be there who is operating drones. They have to intimate. But still there is a excuse. Or in case no information is received, it is a mandatory for a remote pilot responsibility. Means end of the day, as a pilot, you are whole and sole responsible for your operation. You can't say that I didn't get information of a red zone. I didn't receive any email or intimation. It is your duty to check the airspace and make sure that it is not under the red zone or any kind of restrictions. This is what the Drone Rules 2021 talk. Now, operations of US. Carriage of dangerous goods. No person shall carry any dangerous goods. You can't, like, you might have seen a lot of time Pakistan send some drones with some material. It could be ammunition, it could be drugs, all that things. You can't use your drones for doing all these illegal activities. Automatically, your license will cancel. You will be put under the jail. Your drone will be confiscated. No person operating an unmanned aircraft shall violate the rule. So that means, let's say you are flying in a yellow zone with approvals. Let's say, I'm just taking in a very arbitrary example. The aeroplanes are flying in a yellow zone. You know, above 400 feet is all civilian zone. So their priority is to that aeroplanes or aircraft. It could be a small Cessna aeroplane also, two-seater or four-seater. Priority is to those aircrafts, the manned aircraft. See the definition. Manned aircraft. Right of the way is to whom? Manned aircraft. You can't fly drone in when there is a manned aircraft is flying. And that is the problem what we faced in Dule Airport. They are operating training aircrafts over there. So when the training aircraft is there, they have a priority. I cannot fly a drone. Mandatory reporting of an incident. In case you crash the drone, have to make sure that you report the incident in 48 hours of your incident involving human system. These are important when you want, if suppose because of your drone some property is damaged or somebody's life is endangered, if you do not report, you are completely at fault. Let's say somebody's property is damaged because of your drone, and you need to compensate it. Your drone is already under insurance. You have already taken the insurance about it. So if you do not register your incident, you because the insurance body will ask you the incident report. You have whether if you have not done it, that means you have done something faulty. Sometimes incidents happens or accident happens due to some reasons. So they need to investigate. So before doing any, like, you need to tell. Like for example, you when you are driving a car and you bump into somebody else, it is better to register with the police that so and so incident has happened. That means you have not done it intentionally. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes while driving the car, accident happens, or sometimes understanding judgment. End of the day, we are humans. If you are not fault and you want to make it accountable, you can register register with the police also. So that when you are claiming, you are saying, okay, I have registered a complaint. I have registered whatever has happened as an incident. Similarly, when you are doing drone flying and certain incident or accident happens, you need to, if accident happens, it's not that major or anything, you need to make sure that you log this as an incident or accident. It's mandatory reporting. As a pilot, ideally you should not come under this scenario. But sometimes it could happen. A lot of people don't take it this seriously. But because today your drones are not monitored. Tomorrow your drones got monitored. You have those features, ADSP, GPS getting documented and everything. So they will have all the data with them. Just for example, you are driving a car, you make an accident, you say I didn't do accident. But nowadays you see in city everywhere there's city CCTV on the signals or where there are possibility of accidents, the police definitely put a CCTV. They know where the accidents are happening or where complaints are happening, so they will put a CCTV. Once there is a CCTV, they will know. They will have the record. They will tell you, you did this thing and that thing. You will get fault. You have done some problem. You have accident. You are not reported. You are at the fault. This is very clear saying mandatory reporting of an accident. No later than sooner. That is within 48 hours, within 2 days, you have to make sure that you report the accident. Who can knows about this? Know the characteristics of aircraft, how the flight, whether the aircraft is safe for flight, because that means you run through check. Look for the weather conditions. Keep your aircraft within the sight of aloft type, that is VLOS. That means you are able to see the drone flying. Keep sufficient distance between people, property, and other manned and unmanned aircraft. Ensure the operations are transmitted. That means you are connected. Your remote control is in complete control of your drone. So these are do's. Before flying the drone, make sure that you are following certain checklists. So when you land the drone, you need to run your post checklist also. Drones. Okay, so this is a very standard, not made with respect to the India. That's standard. Don't fly an aircraft weighing more than 7 tons. Don't fly the aircraft over the crowded. I think a lot of people, fly drones when there is a crowd or all things. Or during especially the wedding ceremony. Ranay, you must be aware of this. Like, a lot of times when the rituals are happening, all people are there. So people want to take the coverage. To do this with proper approval of the owner. जिसका शादी है, या person who is getting married or the person who has given you the contract, you have certain documents signed with him. Because कभी कुछ incident हो सकता है. So you say that you are doing this for his purpose on his approval. So you are never at a fault. So you need to have that indemnity bond done when you're flying the drone over the crowd. Like a lot of time, police will give you a project. Like मेरे पास अभी, like for example, recent example during Kumbh Mela, drone. There is a company, I think IG Drones, who has been given a contract to fly the drones to monitor the area continuously. They, ideally, you are not supposed to fly over the crowd, but certain cases you need to take approvals from certain bodies. You need to sign a bond with the body who is authorizing you to do that activity. So you need to follow these rules, or else you do not. I mean, this is completely no to fly a drone over the crowd. So do not suspend, carry, attach any item aircraft manufactured. I mean, you can't. A lot of people try to do something differently on the drones. Like I've seen people who have taken a DJI Phantom drone and they had put some mechanism to below. So when there is a marriage happening or something, the drone will drop flowers on the cover. So something like that, they will do it. I've seen a lot of people have done it on Phantom drones or any hazardous substances. Like, there is example you see number 5. Do not drop or discharge any item or substance from the aircraft. Like somebody is demonstrating what is that? Some water sprinklers like that during Holi or colors during Holi. So you should not do that unless you are authorized or you have a proper documentation done for that particular activity. Do not fly on any moving vehicle. Like sometimes some people, don't track the vehicles or fly the drones unless you are from a surveillance or police kind of activity. Sometimes, sometimes they do drone surveillance or certain movement of vehicles also. This is also one of the opportunities for people to, like, if there is some convey is going on, some important person is going. So they will always, nowadays, a lot of time people fly the drone to make sure that area is properly cordoned, under proper control and all that thing. They do not fly within the 5 kilometer of the airport. Okay, the tower, ATC tower and the airport, and not higher than 200 feet also. Sometimes you need to fly drone at the airports, at the ATC part, okay. But then you need to fly with proper approvals and within the range. At the airport, you cannot fly about 200 feet also. There is a limit, not at 400 feet, though you have approval. The approval to fly a drone at the airport is only within 200 feet, not more than that. Okay. So this will touch base when we talk about remote pilot certificate. Who is eligible? You know that 18 years and 65 years. That's why I've asked both of you to give me the 10 class. And then once you have successfully complete 5-day training, you get the pilot certificate. For this, you need to fill a D4 form. So that form will be filled by me. At one location, I will ask you certain information, like your Aadhaar card, Indian passport. You understand why did I took your Aadhaar card and passport details? It's for this form only. Okay. Your residential card or your address, residential address. Your full name has to, or your name, mentioned in this form, should be exactly as what is there on Aadhaar card. All that the information with the latest photograph. If I asked you to give me the latest, I collect your physical photograph when I'm making this form. Okay. So once I fill this form, within 7 days, I said, 7 to 10 days, your RPC is generated. Within 7 days of successfully completion of training and passing the test, the authorized remote pilot training, that means us, RPTO, organization shall make an application for remote pilot. So we have a outer cap of 7 days. So after that 7 days, DGC will issue me the number. Earlier, it was a process. Right now, DGC has authorized us to generate the number. So we can generate the RPC now on our own. We don't need to go to DGCA. But when we are generating the number, we have to send your documents, and what number is being generated to you will be sent to DGCA by us within 7 days. So they will put it in their system, and it will be available online when they update their platform. So you will be able to see your names also on the Digital Sky platform. The validity of license is for 10 years, and it is still valid only if it is enlisted on Digital Sky platform. Okay. Unless suspended, cancel, remains valid for 10 years. It can be renewed after 10 years under the. So there might be, after 10 years, there might be a requirement that, let's say, you might have taken a license, but you are not flown a drone, or you are not regularly flying a drone. So there might be a 2 days refresher course is required to be done. And then you might have to pay a fee. It's like, as of now, Rule 46 says you have to just pay 100 rupees. It's 100 rupees for renewal of your license. But in India, everybody's license, even the first person who got the license, he might be just 3 years. 3 years he would have earned. So he still has 7 years. Nobody's license is going to get until 2031. After 2031, people's license will be expired and they need to go for renewal. Now, who is exemption from obtaining the license? If you are flying a nano drone, and if you are operating a micro drone for non-commercial purpose. For non-commercial. Nano drone is anyway non-commercial only. You can't do it. But if you are doing any non-commercial activity and you are operating nano and micro, you don't require a license. But small,
So I need to have a license for any commercial activities, regardless of whatever drone I have.
yes. Okay. As I said, drone insurance, the provision of Motor Vehicle Act. So same rule, whatever we apply for Motor Vehicle Act, because it's again it's like a vehicle only. Drone is like a vehicle. Tomorrow, a drone taxi will become a vehicle only, right? So all the rules what are applicable to Motor Act 1988, 59 of 1988, all that rules or application is applicable to your drone. Provision of Motor Vehicle Act 1988 rules made under these shall apply mutatis mutandis to the third party insurance or unmanned aircraft system and compensation in case of damage to the life or a property caused by such unmanned aircraft system. So when you are buying a third party insurance, you need to clearly specify. Sometimes only they make it like they will tell, okay, I'll give you third party insurance. I will let's say I'll charge you 10,000 rupees. So you will be happy. Oh, my 2 lakh rupees loan is covered under 10,000 rupees for a year. You might take it, but you don't read the entire document. It may not be covering the case of damage to the life or property. That will be not covered. If you want to cover those also, premium will increase from 10,000 to maybe 50,000 rupees. Okay. Because depending upon what clause you are telling, your premium will change. A lot of people buy third party insurance, but they forget to read the complete documentation. So when you are buying a third party insurance, make sure you are taking the insurance properly for life of a person or a property and for your drone. All these three things are covered. Then only if you take a third party insurance, or else just again it depends upon where you are flying the drone and what purpose you are flying. Accordingly, you define the terms. Okay, accordingly they will cover up the things. And like for example, when we are buying a car insurance also, there are a lot of things plus and minus are there. Accordingly, the premium changes. Okay, any person who is operating unmanned insurance product will design for operation as and when with insurance product approved by who, who, who actually is actually governing the insurance part is the IRDA, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India. So nobody, I mean, there are insurance companies, there are certain insurance companies who are only authorized to give you the insurance to your drone. So you need to see who is it. So like for example, Drogo Drones is there, ICICI is there, some certain or Universal Insurance is there. Okay, certain insurance company are only authorized to give a drone insurance. Not all the insurance companies are not. Okay, so provided a nano drone may operate without a third party insurance also. So nano drone is exempted from having insurance because it's a very small toy drone. So you don't require really insurance because that drone might be costing you only just 2,000 rupees. So what insurance you need? But still that can cause a damage also sometimes. Okay, so you have to be careful when flying, though it is exempted from third party insurance. Okay. Why is the drone insurance important? Because bigger drones, like the damage to the body of the drone, damage to the payloads. Because sometimes the drone which you are flying, the payload, like multi-spectral camera itself costs you 4 lakh rupees to 10 lakh rupees to 20 lakh rupees. So compared to your drone cost, your payload is also very expensive. In that scenario, you need to have insurance. Or even sometimes you might cause a damage to property or a person. In that case, you cannot compensate that person, right? Somebody loses his life, assume. Let's say take an example. You cannot compensate, right? What you will do? So if you want to make sure you are safe and you can compensate, you will not anyway, fly your drone to make a damage to person or property. First thing is that mandatory. I will not fly drone for that purpose. Okay. But if I'm doing it, then anyway I'm at fault. So whether you have a drone or not a drone doesn't make any sense. So a valid drone insurance policy shall cover either or all of the above damages. So you need to follow this. Okay? That's what I said. A lot of time, the insurance people fool the people. Array, just 5,000 rupees, just 10,000 rupees. But you need to see in that 5,000, 10,000 what they are covering. What I required, whether they are covering or not. As a pilot, it's your responsibility. When you are flying, let's you as a pilot, like you are coming to my location, you supposed to know what drone you are flying, whether it is insured or not. You might sometimes you fly somebody else drone. So when you're flying somebody else drone, you have to make sure that drone is under insurance or not. Or if it is not under insurance, you should not fly that drone. Because if you fly the drone, you make an accident, you are at fault. Like you are taking a drone, you are taking a car, somebody's car, and you banged into somebody else. The driver comes under the fault, right? Because he might not have checked. whether if you want to compensate, your insurance is not there. That's why a lot of time you have seen police RPT, RTOs check whether you have a valid license when you're driving a car or not, or whether you have a PUC, whether you have a proper license, or why these are there. So same is applicable when you are doing a drone flying. Okay, mandatory third party liability. So what is choose flying 4 hours, 1 day, 1 year. Different plans are there. What they will take, drone serial number. There are certain DAN ON. This is not applicable now. Only what is implemented is drone serial number and the UIN number. So UIN is only applicable. All these are being scrapped now. DAN, AN, OM. This was earlier used. And then they will ask you the photographs of your drones. And then third party liability covered, like 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, depending on the plan. 10 lakhs might cost you 50,000 rupees. 20 lakhs may cost you 75,000 rupees as a premium. Okay, so this is just for your reference. This is very important when you are, as a pilot, you are flying a drone. Okay, we are talking about fees. This is rule number 46. Okay, so issuance of certificate of airworthiness, that means type certificate, you have to pay 100 rupees. For insurance transfer de-registration of UIN number, you are registering your drone, it's just 100 rupees. If you are listing or renewal of your remote pilot, D4 form, it's just 100 rupees. D5 form, if you are authorizing or renewal of authorized remote pilot training organization, like I registered my new location, Igatpuri, I paid 100,000 rupees. So only for D5 it is 1,000 rupees, whereas for all other D1, D2, D3, D4 is just 100 rupees. Earlier this was 25,000 rupees. In ICAR you can check there was a higher value for this. Whereas in drone rules 2021, this is rule number 46. Okay, you can check it here also. Okay, drone rules. Okay, so if I check here, 46. Okay, see everywhere it is talking about rule 46. Let's go to rule number 46. What is it? Rule number 46 talks about fee. Issuance of certificate, type certificate, 100 rupees. Issuance, registration, 1,000. Authorization is only 1,000. Okay. So I have a better picture. So I have just added one more column here, and I have just written the forms D1, D2, D3, D4, and D5. Okay. So when you are reading this document, whatever we have spoken about, everything like see here, mandatory pre-flight, prior permission, dynamic nature of zoning, okay, temporary red zone, everything is there. Safe operations, we talk about this. Prohibition of carriage of arms, ammunition, explosive, military stores, carriage of danger. So these are rules. Rule number 27, rule number 28, rule number 29, right of way, rule number 30, mandatory reporting of incident. Okay, rule number 31 is for remote pilot license. Okay, and then 37 onwards is for RPT, for as an organization. Who can become a RPT? Okay, then rule number 42 is unmanned aircraft for research, development, and testing. Then rule number 43 is for UTM. This is for a bigger companies, like those people like Asteria. They are flying many drones for surveillance purpose. So they may set up a UTM, unmanned aircraft traffic management. So when what rules you have to follow. Okay, this is not such useful as of now in India because we do not have much of UTM. As for us, as of now, the UTM is only airspace. But there are some companies which are already working to establish the UTM. There are a couple of companies which are working on setting up the UTM, which can monitor the complete flying of the drones and how the drones will be flying from. This will come into the picture when you're flying intercity or when you're flying drone taxis and all this. UTM will come in that point in time. Rule number 43, 44 talks about insurance, whatever we have seen in the slides. 45 is for promotions. Like 45 is basically for, central government may promote for drones. Like central government is coming up with different schemes. Drone Didi is there, drone Suraksha is there, or drone some right now. I think even yesterday in drone this budget they have made a lot of announcement of schemes. PLI schemes are there, public. schemes are there. So that's rule number 45. 46 is your fees for different purposes. Okay. Then 47 is direction, where central government deem necessary in constitution provide access to unmanned. So they can. Who is the whole and sole authority of this documentation? Is central government, and then followed by state government. Who are exempted? The central government. Okay, they are exempted from. Again, offense classification and combating. No person shall carry out any activity in contravention of these rules. When at any point in time you should following these rules. Okay, notwithstanding anything code of criminal. I mean, these will be applicable to you when if you are at faulty. You will be given a time. Okay, if you see it is defense, it shall be a defense to any proceeding failure to comply with rules if the contravention provided in such a case whether unavoidable competition without control with is enough. Suppose sometimes some happens, like because of the very heavy wind, your drone may become unstable, it may go and crash. That's why that mandatory accident reporting is important. If you are not followed out any rules properly, then you will be at offense. Classification and compounding. So there will be a non-cognizable, non-compoundable. So that means it will be not bailable. You will not get a bail. You will not get any relaxation into that. They will simply put up under the bars, and they will run a until unless you are able to prove that yourself non-guilty and all that. Okay, so that's why it is cognizable and non-compoundable. You have to mandatory pay the penalty. You have to mandatory serve the term and all that things. Okay, so don't fly drone irresponsibly. Make sure you're following safety and security protocols whenever you're flying the drone. That's what it says. Okay, there are certain times, some people, some reason you do it, certain things. So they will impose a penalty on you under the Act of 50. So earlier this was very heavy, I think, but they have now just limited to not exceeding to 1 lakh rupees. Okay. Earlier this was very highly penalized kind of thing, but now they have, because drones, they want people to see if it is very heavily. Let's say you put a penalty of 10 lakh rupees, definitely you say I will not do it. Right? But if there is certain relaxation is given, that's why they have just kept minimum 1 lakh rupees. Then power of inspect. Drone DGCA will have all authority to inspect any facility, any location, anything, wherever it is. Like you are flying a drone. Let's say you are flying a drone in some region. Pranay might be flying a drone for some, outdoor wedding, pre-wedding kind of thing, activity. So somebody like authorized person, like police might come and ask. They have power to inspect. You show them you are a certified license, a certified pilot. Your drone is registered. Where you are doing the activity, you have a authorization for it. You might be doing a pre-wedding photography in, let's say, a resort or some location, maybe some location. You take permission, or you may intimate to a local police authority that I have such and such activity to be done. This is for your information. They might say no also, but they cannot say no if you are doing it in green zone with proper rules, proper documentation. You are a certified pilot. Say, for example, you are not a certified pilot and you make an application to police. Will they give you the authorization? Will they give you approval? No, because you are not a pilot. They will not give. But if you are a pilot, your drone is UI and having UI number, they are bound to give you the authorization. If they are not giving it, they should tell you why they are not giving it, so that you can make arrangement for it. Like there could be, like they might say that we cannot give you at this point in time because the area is under red zone. Like for example, where I am staying, that location till Palghar area, it is a green zone, but from 20th December till 10th January, being a coastal area, that is been temporarily made as a red zone. So they have stopped all the drone activities in that region for 20 days. So they will intimate you. I cannot give at this point in time you the authorization. Like this. So if you are approaching any government officials, you are giving the documentation, everything, you are making a approval letter for them. So they should give you the approval, or they should say why they are not approved. Okay, that's it. You cannot, let's say if police comes or anybody officials comes, you should be giving them access. You should be telling, because you are doing everything legally. So no person shall voluntarily obstruct any person acting in exercise his powers or in discharge. I mean, you should not fight with the authority. Sometimes I've seen a lot of people who are flying drones. They're flying drones in some village or forest, or sometimes somebody comes. Even like let's say the head of the village, the sarpanch would come and ask you. So he has authority to ask, why are you flying drone? What are you doing? So you tell him, explain him what is what. If he is not explaining, you stop your activity, discuss with him, you get the proper authorization, and then do your activity and tell him and give it to him. Like sometimes we are like, for example, Samvita scheme, you are flying a drone for taking the photography of complete village. You are doing this activity on it. So you intimate the local sarpanch over there, the government body over there. Give them the information under this Indian government scheme. I'm doing this activity and I'm going to fly the drone, this and that and all that thing. So that's why you take the people's approvals. If you are not doing things properly, BGC can cancel or suspend your license, or anything, license, certificate, authorization, or approval. Whatever the grants you have got, anything could get cancelled because of that illegal activity. So you should do it. Nothing in these rules shall limit or otherwise affect the power of central. So supreme is central government. Okay, so whatever rules are there, the government of India can override them, okay, or can make amendment to them as needed as per it. And most important, they will keep in interest of public safety or safe operation of all manned or unmanned aircraft. Okay, so central government, whatever they decide, that will be the final. They will have the highest authority in it. Apart from following all these rules, if unmanned aircraft rules stand, repealed, accepted, respect, other thing. If you have done something wrong, you have given a time to justify. If you are not justify within that time frame, you are at fault. Simply, okay. So then you cannot justify, or you cannot try to save yourself. So you will be given a time. Let's say you may given a time of 15 days. You may be given a time for let's say 1 week's time, where you are given time to justify yourself of your action. So these are total 55 rules, okay, and they are categorized into different, like if you see, there are 12 categories, I would say. Miscellaneous is one, okay. Then you see here UTM is there. So there are 12 categories and 55 rules. As a pilot, this document is Bible for you to read and understand it. If required, you take a printout of this, go through it, try to understand. Next 5 days, try to spend some time on this document so that you are clear. So when after 5 days, when I am issuing a certificate, you are clear with this document. This is the document for a pilot. Okay, so everything is defined into this. Everything you read, you need to understand. Okay, so take each rule. Like there are 55 things, so you take each rule, read it, try to understand, try to visualize what it's trying to say. If you still have a doubt, ask me during the question answer sessions. When we are flying, also that time also you should know where, under what rule, what we are doing the activities. Like if you go up, okay, here categorization, how classification is there. Whatever we saw in the slides, everything is mentioned. Okay. Certification of unmanned aircraft, general certificate standards, type certifications, okay, import, export, mandatory features. We saw about this, NTAMP, geofencing, okay, which models are being exemption, nano models. So everything what we saw in the slides is from this document. Okay. Only this is very textual. That's why we have created a presentation where it is easier for you to understand. But you need to read this document. As a pilot, you are supposed to read this document and learn this document. Okay. I have taken more time. This was supposed to be finished within, I think, by 10:30, but now we are already at 12:30. Okay, so I have taken more time because this is the important. Rest are very easy to understand and go through. But here I have spend more time because this is the base of your pilot license. Okay. I hope you have understood. You have anything query, or you want to take a break, we can take a break, 2 minutes break, and then we'll continue because we have to cover up other things also. Like we have to take
Sure,
up.
sure.
Right? You have any question, Pranay? Gagan?
मला प्रश्न म्हणजे हे रूल्स आहेत तर ते आपल्याला नाही पाळले तर खूपच त्रास होऊ शकतो.
करेक्ट.
खूपच. तर ते प्रिकॉशन घ्यावेच लागणार आहे आणि ते वाचावंच लागणार आहे आणि
Simple is I will send that PDF to you by end of the day on the mail. You just give me your mail. I do not have your mail ID. Just WhatsApp me your mail IDs. I will add it into my group and I will send you whatever documents. As on next 2 days, I will be sending a lot of documents to you. But I will try to. I don't want to send you too many mails. So I will take everything in the end of the day. Whatever today, like whatever we session do, I will send those documents. Tomorrow, whatever we do, I will send it. So you have 1 or 2 mails only to send. So you have one place. So have that. अभी जैसे drone rules भेजूंगा तो you don't want to take the complete printout. You can take only certain like English वाला part लेना तो English वाला लेना. Or you can take it full also. Sometimes you need to know the language. If you can read Hindi, try to read those also. So a lot of time when we are training the farmers, we have to train them in a local language. Like in Maharashtra, we want to train the farmers. We have to talk in Marathi. Or try to explain them Marathi, English, Hindi both. Sometimes we go to Gujarat. So people have to be talked in Gujarati language, or even Bangalore. People have to talk the local language and train. So a lot of time we hire the pilots or the trainers who are well versed with the local language. We'll take a break of 15 minutes now. We'll come back 12:45 and we will do the module that is principles of life.
Sure.
Then we'll have a lunch.
Yeah.
चालेल.
I'll keep the link open. If you want to disconnect and come back, no problem. Or else you can keep it open also.